start this thing, and hopefully I won't lose.
Fucking go.
Let's just fucking go. So, picking up from where we last left off, the party has set their sights on the marshes of Barrett's Mire. Wishing to reconsecrate the fane of the Weaver as well as recover the second winery gemstone, you began your trudge through the mud of this dismal ruin in search of the ancient crone that resides here. All the while keeping scouting eyes for any track or trace of Muriel and the rest of the scouts sent here by Davian Martikov. As you continued your journey through this vast swamp, passing by dripping trees and rotting vegetation, you followed the road's path until it vanished into the scummy waters. Taking careful steps through, you continued your slog through the chest-high murky waters, which kept everything from view, both dangerous and benign, with swamp's rancid breath and the glossy black bodies of leeches clinging to you. After a deadly encounter with an oversized crocodile, you took some time to rest amid the remnants of a ruined village. Trying to bat away the ever-persistent clouds of bloodflies and looking across this fetid expanse, through the curling mist, you kind of see reeded plants growing from the algae-covered murk. Occasionally, breaking the heavy silence, you hear the buzzing of insects dripping and splashing with water, the slurp of bubbling mud and trapped air breaking the surface, and from time to time, the screech of animals hunting or being hunted. It takes you quite some time to get used to the smell of decay and rot, the briny algae and methane gases that bubble and rise throughout the waters have a certain sickening, rotten egg-like scent. The heat doesn't help either, and the moisture makes you all sweat uncomfortably, causing your clothes to stick and dead leaf fragments to cling to wet skin. Water has seeped into your boots, chafing legs, and constant biting and stinging of flies has made your skin itchy and irritated. Under flickering torchlight and the blinking lights of fireflies, Brander finishes patching his wounds and applying quick repairs to his mech suit. A lot of you take some time to attend to glossy black leeches that have grown bloated from feeding on your thighs. You pull at them, disgusted, your fingers shaking at the task. The sound they make is almost like a sigh, like the contentment of a fat man pulling away from the table after a feast. At some point, the biting flies become too much, and you feel as if, should you remain resting here any longer, the swamp will eat you alive. That being said, what do you do?
Brenda, are you done with that armor? These things are eating me alive. I don't think we can stay here. I can't stay here any longer.
Yeah, let's keep moving. Just next time, listen to me.
Yeah, it wasn't all that useful anyways. Lead the way.
Okay, so we're just gonna... We're heading towards the Raven Beacon, I believe.
Can we find the direction? Or
yeah, so towards the end of our short rest, because I didn't actually need to take the full rest, I would ritual cast locate animal or plants again targeting Raven.
Once again, you get the general trajectory and distance away, about 800 to 1,000 feet southward. You get a little ping of a live raven at the swamps.
Still that way. Just hoping that the raven I'm finding is one that has dealt with Muriel. Well then.
We'll keep following the path downwards, try to stick out the stay out of the swamp as much as we can.
Yeah.
Sure. As the
Yeah,
line
I
of
guess.
you. Yep.
We continue down to around. Follow the path down.
Sure. You continue down the sunken road, following the light of fireflies as your sound guides through the haze and reeking mud. You pass under swamp trees and note the strange carved figurines hanging from its branches. Kind of looking up, you see twig fetishes that swing eerily in the breeze. They swing from what appears to be sewn and hung strands of sinew. Some of them feature the skulls of small rodents, others feature the skulls of small birds, and others dangle kind of like dream catchers amid what is unmistakably human teeth.
Well, as if this place was insufferable enough, seems like now there's human effigies.
Yeah. Question. I wouldn't recognize any of that as kind of druidic speak thing, right? It's not like druidic markings.
What would make it druidic?
I don't know.
The language.
Yeah, that wouldn't be like druidic. That wouldn't be something that druids would have left in place.
Something that your druids might have left?
I'm more going with the fact that I speak druidic, and so
I understand. I'm operating with you.
Yeah.
Usually, druids of your tribe, for sure, would not use
not
such.
have done anything like that.
This is
But
a
I'm
more
also going
global language, almost like a warning sign or there to generate dread more than be a secret message.
Yeah, whoever put this up doesn't want company. And I will actually use reduce flame to try and burn some of them away.
There's a small flame in your hand. What do you do?
I'm gonna toss it out at some of the effigies that are kind of dangling from the tree.
The flame mode flies in the air, and two of the fetishes they catch, swinging in the breeze on fire. One by one, they fall off the tree, rattling. The bones charred, and the sinew burning. They fall off. The branches catch on fire as well, but being soaked into swamp's moisture, eventually fizzle out into black smoke.
Well, I suppose at least it's a little bit nicer to look at now. Continue on, be on guard.
Sure.
For whatever decided it didn't want anyone around.
Yep, let's keep going.
Who is at the head of this group in terms of marching order?
Probably me.
Anybody else?
I know where the Raven is, and I'm comfortable navigating through this type of terrain.
Anybody else helping Keahi lead away?
I think I will be behind him. The terrain is not that hard for me.
The terrain is actually rather difficult, especially for you and your greaves. The sunken road, perhaps supernaturally so, is either below the mud, or there are treacherous plant growth beneath your feet that seems to be unnaturally thick around these regions the further you proceed down south. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, difficult terrain. But nonetheless, if you wish to remain in the middle of the group, that's fair enough.
Jeb's bringing up the rear, just periodically checking behind him to make sure we don't get jumped by any more fancy coins in the mud.
So, Jeb, roll me a perception check, since you're kind of watching the back of the group.
And I'll be second to last in front of Jeb.
Sure.
Yeah. He is taken in front of me.
I rolled it. Where'd it go? Come on.
you go.
There we go.
Triple
3.
swipe.
So
That makes sense.
still sort of recovering from the shock of the giant crocodile, your paranoia kind of kicks in as you see the water bubble here and there and dark shapes beneath the murk. Your eyes glance
Jeb is
briefly.
convinced the effigy is him.
So, through the haze, you catch a few humanoid-shaped effigies in the trees, and you note that some of them hang from the blackened branch where Gahi has just set a few effigies on fire. Others have manifested out of the haze to replace them.
They're everywhere.
But in terms of spotting anything from behind you, you're pretty sure that everything dangerous remains beneath the murk as you stick to the road.
So yeah, it's just Jeb's regular paranoia of like jumping at like trees that look vaguely humanoid, but he doesn't actually see anything moving.
You don't see anything moving, but in the peripheral of your vision from time to time, it's as if the bark itself manifests faces, watching faces, but looking straight at
Yeah,
them, faces vanish.
Yeah, definitely. There are enemies at every corner.
For Geahi and whoever is assisting him at the front, fetid stench intensifies as you continue past the cottages southward. Ahead, you see a cluster of bloodflies, buzzes, and hums. Some appear to hover low above something on the ground. It's a body, or at least what remains of it. You see the upper torso of some humanoid lies twisted in the shallow mud. The scalp is exposed, the body having suffered some rapid hair loss. Its skin is discolored, mottled with bruises and grey tones, and is covered with scabs, taking on a bumpy, leathery texture in places. Trails of dried blood leak from its eyes like tears, and its lips have been pulled taut, exposing blackened gums and rotten teeth. The nails on its hands have blackened, and it's dressed in tattered remnants of whatever clothing it wore in life. The body is very gaunt, as if emaciated by starvation. But more disturbing, the lower portion of its body, from the gut down, smoothly transitions into several honeycomb-like hive structures, seemingly molded out of the body's own flesh and muscle. You see bloodflies fly in and out of the corpse, making it move and twitch from within. You glance toward the dried up eyes of this husk and find them staring back.
Yahi, could you do something about that? Toss one of your fire orbs into that. It is.
Immediate. And yeah, I will toss fire at that. And I should not actually be 20 feet in the air.
I suppose it's too much to hope for that that's responsible for all those disgusting dolls hanging from the trees.
Body is over yonder.
So I would get to about there, I think. And then toss out produce flame at it.
Sure. Flame sails through the air in a low arc and then catches on the edge of the body. As it does so, there's a burst as black and crimson liquid just kind of from the side and begins to sizzle with the flame, and the hive slowly begins to catch on fire, and the corpse begins to lurch and move from inside as you begin to see bloodflies coming out of the mouth, out of the pores. And then the corpse's lips move. It whispers, loud enough for you to hear, "By the Lord, it hurts!" The flames of the spell slowly die down as about half the hive burns, and angry swabs of flies fly about.
Yahi, more fire, please.
"Please, help me!"
He's already too far gone. Just ease his pain.
Wait. He may know what happened here, and he may still be able to recover.
I'm not a cleric, but those wounds seem fairly grievous.
Eventually, the sizzle dies down. The wound remains, and the angry swaths of flies continue buzzing about. But the corpse's head slowly over in Gahi's direction. You can see two dead, glazed-over eyes looking straight in your direction. There's somebody there. I know. I can see you. Help me. Someone? Please.
Jeb's gonna walk up.
Okay, go ahead.
No, if you were gonna do it, go right ahead. Jeb was just gonna walk up, not to say anything yet. He's not gonna like stealth over, but he's gonna walk up. Like the squishing, I'm sure if you can hear, can definitely be heard as he just approaches closer to the thing. Like here, right?
I would stay so that Jeb doesn't get too far ahead of me.
Sir, are you aware that you are consumed from the waist down and seem... Well, I wouldn't even say undead. You seem dead, sir.
A remedy. I must find a remedy. Need to go back. I feel too bad to keep going.
What remedy could possibly help you for what ails you, sir?
Forget. I find myself forgetting things. Simple things. They won't tell me. They won't tell me. They just whisper my name. Do you hear it? Do you hear your name in the buzzing of the flies?
Do I hear my name in the buzzing of the flies?
You hear
Just the buzzing of the flies.
buzzing of the flies, yes.
This isn't
No.
safe here.
Please, don't go. Don't run away. I will walk with you. Please, just wait. He lifts up one half-emaciated skeletal hand in your direction. It's shaking before it collapses to the ground. The other hand has been long eaten off or decayed away.
Where did you want to go back?
Why?
I mean, he said like he has to go back somewhere, but I don't know.
Back. Back. Out of this swamp. I need to go back. Don't go.
Where
Wait.
did you hail? Where did you hail from?
I forget. They won't tell me. It hurts. Please. Wait.
We either need to keep moving because of all these effigies or ease his pain. I hate to say it, but right now this could
Looking-
also be a trap as well.
Those of you kind of approaching closer, you can see around his corpse, aside from the rats consuming at bits of him, the rats kind of fighting off the blood flies occupying them, is what looks to be remnants, some tools of the trade in the muck, as well as a journal clutched close to the corpse, and several other human-looking bones throughout.
Yeah, I'd go. It's time for you to return to the cycle. And produce flame targeted at the head.
Sure. As it catches on fire, you can hear the very soft whimper as he grows still. The buzzing of flies intensifies as more of them come out from the belly end, from the guts, and fly, turning into this unified orb before angrily going across the water away from this place, seeming deterred by the fire.
Jeb will reach for the journal after the fires die down a little bit.
So you're kind of maneuvering past the live rats, scurry away from the flames. You reach for your journal, and as you do, you kind of lift up from the mud, and you can see on the underside, caked in the mud, are these like wriggling white worms, or like worm-like creatures. You have to kind of shake off.
He'll grab it by the spine, like try to like shake it off as best he can, not like burn. Trying to keep the pages together, but try to get as many of the maggots, worms off of it as he can.
The still burning corpse, kind of from where you're standing 5 feet away from it, you can see it like parasites have laid eggs in the body and have worked to somehow maintain some base functions. I'm not sure if this is some form of undeath or some malaise, but they're slowly replacing decaying tissue with like wax-like secretions that sealed wounds and waterproofed the body, locking it in a sort of very slow decay. Whoever this individual was met a very, very foul end.
This is disgusting. They've used him as some sort of incubation chamber for its young. Truly, these beasts are more foul than we previously thought. Ugh, look at it.
Nothing but parasites in these swamps.
They weren't even paying him rent.
What you're holding in your hands, Jeb, is the following. Feel free to read it out loud if you want, or interact with it however you wish. But here you go.
Are you just showing that to me or the party? Because he would be
No,
reading
we
this
can
out
see
loud
it
to
too.
the party. Okay. He'd be reading this out loud to the party. He was a learned man, and they clearly have taken his mind from him at the end, and he's had nothing left at the end. Disgusting. Kyahi, if you see any more of those things, please give them a swift end, far better than they deserve. But I worry a slow end would have them stuck at our necks first chance they get.
Sorry, just kind of reading it, but getting through some of it. I don't know. I guess when Jeb was reading, I'd just be kind of looking over his shoulder, seeing what, if he's reading out loud or whatever, and just catching kind of bits and parts of it. But seeing the scratching on the bottom, the part that I'm really grabbing toward is like the mud has eyes. It's watching me. It seems like everything here is, what's the word? It has like a hive mind almost, or something, or everything's in unison. Like it's all one living creature here in this
Yes.
cesspool.
I mean, this is the home of the Weaver. I imagine she weaves things together. What a web we'll find.
It just seems to me that this man seemed to have infected himself to try his vaccine, like his antidote.
Yep. Would you have read this to us, or just?
Yeah. He would definitely share share all of it. This man died for something. He died writing this. Even in his madness, there might be something useful with the remains.
Yeah.
Brandar, yep. How are you feeling? Like, he's there. We say that There is a fever coming.
I ain't going mad yet. Emphasis on the yet.
I don't
Jump.
feel any worse. Luckily, I was able to stave off most of the flies as Brandar was repairing his armor, though I don't know how much more I could do that.
You've been kind of noticing, aside from the hazy hallucinations, faces in trees, murky darkness in the swamp and shapes beneath. Jeb, you've been kind of feeling little cramps around the hand area and in your gut, and perhaps fatigued from battle, but not madness.
Well, it's only been such a short time since we've entered the swamp, but I'm sure the longer that we stay here, the worse it can get. So we need to keep moving. Hopefully we can get out of here faster.
Jeb's also a borderline hypochondriac, so he doesn't know if what he's feeling is just paranoia or if he's actually feeling ill.
Yeah, just giving you subjective.
See if he has anything useful around his body, and then let's get going.
This is the only useful thing I found there. I'm not going to muck around in that sentient hive of whatever he was.
Yeah, I will throw a couple more of those at it, particularly aiming at any remaining flies or fly larvae that I see.
Any remaining flies with wings have dropped to the ground from the smoke, kind of twitching on the ground and dying to the heat. Larvae is burning up as well, but you make sure that you do a nice sweep with burning hands and whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
Does anyone have a torch I could borrow? I prefer to have one in my hands as we continue this sojourn through this hellscape.
You can take one of mine. I also have one out too. I know we took them out during the short rest. How long do they last for?
An hour.
Okay, I'll relight another one then and give another one to Jeb.
Sure thing.
So walking, rapier one hand, torch in the other.
I believe if I do this, they'll be in your control. One and one for Nadia. You can actually move those around. Correct?
Yeah.
Alright. What did the rest of you do? As Jeb and Nadia exchange torches.
Just looking around, see if there's anything watching us at all. Just try and get a lay of the land.
Sure. Are you looking for anything specific or just a general kind of watch?
Just in general, keeping watch.
What's your passive perception?
14.
Sure, and roll me an active one. I'll just use the 14 as the kind of floor for this. Okay, that's why. So, the haze is impossibly thick, kind of even encroaching closer at times. You can't quite see far, but two things catch your attention. First is something round at the very cusp of the water over in like this direction over yonder, almost like a boulder. It's bobbed up, but for the briefest moment you saw two yellow pinpoints where its eye sockets would be. If this were a head, and hair that's long, black, and kind of tendriling out across the water surface, watching you, and then, like Apocalypse Now, just slowly sinking into the murk. That thing's no waters. The second thing that catches your attention, as you kind of treasure the mound and looking around, you see an especially bright cluster of fireflies hover some feet ahead to the south, about 100 feet southward. And it's very peculiar how this cluster is, because it's very bright and it's contained, very concentrated.
It would indicate the cluster and then just go, we should just stick away from the water as much as possible. Don't know what's in there, but something is. And it's watching us.
Yeah.
And they points down towards 100 feet towards the fireflies. May have something over there though, so shall we walk around?
Yeah, and as we do, I'm actually gonna cast this because I think only 3 of us have torches out right now, and if so, I'm gonna cast it on everyone's torch to double the area of bright light being, right, of bright and dim light being cast by those flames to basically amp up the torches.
Jeb jumps as it casts a greater shadow, thinking that there's something jumping, like sneaking up on him, but it's just like a tree's shadow. They're behind every corner.
Yes.
As the last of the torches flickers brightly and increases in flame, and the radius illuminates a tree behind Nadia. Jeb, you kind of glance in the direction, and for a brief moment, 2 yellow pinpoint eyes glinted in darkness and disappeared behind the tree, and you saw like a clawed hand just kind of rake the bark and vanish behind it. The figure stood about 5-6 feet height.
Show yourself! We know you're watching us!
Your voice echoes into the haze.
You all saw that, right? It was right there.
What is it?
Point at where it was.
Did you
It was
see another
2 eyes and a
shadow?
claw.
I didn't see anything, but
Could
I
we
haven't-
hear anything? Like any?
What you hear around you is the kind of passive buzz of the flies, the swamp noises, but no, this figure is silent.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say, well,
No, it was there. It was there. Brandar, you saw it, right?
I didn't.
So I'm gonna fly over this way a bit and try and take a little bit of a closer look at where it was. Also, I'm not seeing the light from everyone else's light sources. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I had been, and then I moved my token, and I'm no longer. So
It's a pretty big radius.
Yeah, I got basically
Maybe-
the whole thing lit.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's just vision for you.
no, I don't know because I saw a fog for everything, but yeah, so that's fixed it. So I would float over here for.
Fog ends about here. I'm gonna stick by Kiahi and no, it was bright. Yeah, bright is about here. Dim is about here.
In the torch
Well-
light,
Yeah.
kind of lift your torch to inspect around the tree. You see the nail rakes are there, and in the mud, there's evidence of fresh humanoid footprints, bare feet, 5 toes on each foot, that have kind of backed into the waters.
See, it was there. They are following us.
Hello. Well, they're following us, watching us. Have they posed a real threat to us yet? Mayhap they're the locals.
yeah. While they're checking that, Rachel casting detect poison. And this is
Sure. So you bring out the yew leaf and you begin concentrating on the spell. It will take you some time, about 10 minutes to complete it. But as you guys are investigating around more, Jeb, about 40 feet to the east, in the murk of the water, you see the exact same figure, standing about up to its waist in the waters. 2 long, skinny hands to either side of it, and it has a hunched back and this white hair that kind of droops down from either side of its face and is caked in mud towards the bottom. And again, through its scowl and pale skin, you can see those 2 yellow pinpoints just staring about 40 feet out.
I could throw 40 feet, right? I want to
Throw what?
just I want to throw my torch at the figure as soon as I see it What do you want? Just like, you know, in like
Roll
an
me
exasperated.
athletics as you're trying to like throw the lit torch.
Uh,
It has some weight to it.
oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Can I try and catch/stop it from making it to hit the guy?
He's already throwing it.
Eh.
You throw it, the torch like spins in the air about 20 feet ahead and lands at like where the water starts. And you can see it like, I'm gonna flip a coin. 2 is in your favor.
Nice.
No. It lands torch end first into the mud and just
That was a
sticks
great
to
use of a
camera.
torch, Jeb. Thank you.
No, it was.
Torch
It's right
us.
there. It's right there.
I saw it too. Don't
Here.
attack it. I will actually fly on over, pull up, pick the torch out, and go, hello?
The figure still stands there. It is massive. You can tell the shoulder width is about 3 feet, but it has these like gaunt hands that are kind of like, now that you look at it, they're like folded in front of it. Its head is in front of its haunch, and that white hair is kind of tied in like a hive-like structure above its head that grows like 2 long columns caked in mud. This creature has its head to listen,
Follower of the Weaver.
and you can hear its whisper because the sound resonates across the water very easily as it says, "Intruders in my swamp."
Well, intruders or emissaries?
Better get out before I catch you and I eat you. Mix you in with all the bones, children bones, and those who came before. Such a tiny creature you are. You'll go down in 2 bites.
2 bites.
Just maintains its distance like 20 feet away from Lorkia.
While he says that, and kind of catching up and seeing everything, I'd point my sword at him and say the only thing that you would be receiving is an early grave, and as so, I would kind of use a bunch of sparks to start shooting from the blade. And because he's in water, I'll fuck him up.
You look at this figure, and though it's hunched and bulky and weird proportions that are kind of upsetting, you can tell from certain drooping creatures that it's a she. As she turns her curious gaze towards you. That one has a little bit of spice to it. You, I will feed too precious. Yeah. It laughs with this like inhaling laugh.
It's done a very good job at keeping this place protected. Seems to have fallen into disarray. And
Just
uninterrupted.
like I like it. No, don't go ruining it. Go out of my swamp with you. You've been warned. And the figure begins to slowly sink into the mud.
I will go about trying to relight the torch.
It's soaked wet in mud. We'll need some sort of catalyst, but if you probably take 20, you'll be able to redress it somehow.
Just give you a new one, Ki.
We'll relight it when we have time. I'm sorry, it It's been following us. It appeared it was behind that tree, and then it was in the water. It's circling us. It's up to something.
Well, I will go ahead and pull one torch out of my pouch, light it with my hand that's on fire, and hand it over to Jeb. Try not to throw this one out. And I'll hand over the mud-covered one as well. Just let that one dry out and use it when it's dry again.
Jeb undoes the vine belt and just attaches it back to his belt. At this point, he's just fully dropped his adventuring clothes, and he's just looking like a hobo. Horn pants, vine belt.
Feeling like a hobo.
Oh.
At some point, question for you. As you're holding concentration to it, Aya, to the spell,
Mm-hmm.
you can sense the presence of poisons and poisonous creatures within 30 feet of you, which kind of register as like these greenish vile auras in the waters. In the underbrush, you can see these slithering snakes slither in or out, with the venomous glands kind of glowing up the sides of their faces. Or disease in each case. And kind of coming off Jeb from the hand and from his mouth as he's speaking is this like greenish vile mist that the spell kind of takes form in your vision.
Brender too, or only Jeb?
Just Jeb. Just this brackish greenish smoke with tiny little black motes kind of fluttering about.
I'll approach to the group and Jeb, are you sure you're feeling alright? I can see that you are sick. You have
Well,
something.
I mean, I haven't felt okay since we've gotten to these mist-begotten lands, but I don't feel any worse since coming here. I mean, those damnable insects have been biting this cut on my hand. I mean, it hurts, but I've been in pain ever since I've gotten here. I had a decent night's sleep since that time I slept at Walker's manor when you were killing wolves in a cave several days ago.
Who knows? They're just standing around. I think we should keep moving.
Yeah,
Me-
head up to those fireflies, unless we can do something about that.
Question.
Disease.
Do I identify the disease of Jeb? I'm asking
It's
for
only
this
detect.
part.
It doesn't identify. You. Spell doesn't.
Yeah,
say-
it identifies.
You identify the kind of poison.
Poisonous creature.
Sure. With that, also roll me like a medicine check to see how much you would know about this disease, because you can identify it by name. You know what it is. I'll just see how much information I'll give you off the bat.
Yeah, sure.
The disease itself
Being a
is
bitch.
I'm not a doctor, okay? I just know that you are sick.
The quickest way we can help him right now is by doing what we need to do and getting out of here.
Jeb's currently suffering, judging by his symptoms, the cramps, the hallucinations, from what is called swamp malaise. It is a generic term for a broad category of illnesses that kind of incubate in stagnant swamps, which are sometimes also transmitted by creatures that dwell in these swamps, such as rats and stinging flies. And it seems that via bite, Jeb has caught this. And his constitution is being attacked. Fatigue, cramps, a particularly violent strain of swamp malaise native to especially vile swamps can cause even hemolacria, which is crying when your tears are being mixed with blood and you cry blood. Kind of like the dried traces that you saw in the corpse before. Kind of dubbing the disease Weeper's disease.
I have soap on me. Would that help alleviate anything, like clean water?
If you have corona, will washing your hands help?
It could help.
Yes. Makes you feel
He's
better.
poisoned. I just didn't know if there was like anything
He's
else. Like I'm just
diseased.
adding.
He's not poisoned. He's diseased.
Oh.
If it's
I'm
any,
gonna.
Will soap
I-
help? I mean, get creative with it.
I don't think any of the flies bit me for the long rest, but I'm sure there's just like non-stop
You did
flies
not have a
biting me
long rest in the
nonstop.
swamp
Or sorry, not a long rest. The short rest we took.
during the short
If it was a
rest.
bite from that, they didn't get me. But I'm sure they've been biting me non-stop this entire time, and I probably failed to con save it.
Maybe it's when you jump into the mouth of the.
That might be it. Getting open wound in this muck water probably wasn't a good idea.
The most common source is rats and stinging flies, but really any animal that resides in the swamp can transmit it via bite. Any fluid-to-fluid transaction. Even rummaging in the muck. Even
Well,
eating food.
Kiahi, can you hold Jeb for a second? Jeb,
No, what?
stay put. This may hurt a little bit.
Excuse me? He's more confused. He's not struggling, but he's definitely like guard up.
You can tell you're not a doctor
yeah,
because a
he
doctor
will.
would never say that.
Yeah,
Just stay in your stool. This will hurt a little bit. I will not explain to you what I'm doing, but just trust me,
Yeah.
I'm a doctor.
So, I'll drop
he
from
will go ahead and
the
grab
steed,
it. Yep.
and while Kiahi's grabbing Jeb, I'm gonna put both of my hands like in his chest, and one in his mouth, and
Both
I'm
your
gonna
hands
use
on his
magic.
chest and another one in his mouth? Free hand?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
3 hands.
exactly. I mean, she has a tail. The tail is in the mouth. And
Yes. Yeah.
I'm using 5 points of lay of hands to
Back away.
cure his disease. That's what I'm doing.
Sure. So, as you concentrate on the divine power granted to you by the Order, on the rituals that you were taught in the Order of the Gauntlet, Jeb, you begin to see the wound on your hand kind of categorize over with like this sheen, metallic sheen that grows like crystals and rock upon it, and slowly this greenish ooze seeps out of this now new scab on your hand. The scab remains, the pus seeps out, and the cramping and illusions kind of dissipate just a little bit. As, I think it just cures it. It doesn't have to rule anything for it. Yeah, just cures.
Yeah.
Paladins. Yeah.
Do you feel better?
I do. I didn't realize. I thought that was just the swamp, but I feel marginally better. Thank you, Aya. What is that?
It's, something you catch in the swamp.
The way you were talking, I expected you to hit me with your hammer or something.
No, just sometimes it burns a little bit from the inside.
Well, yes. Good that that's been dealt with. Well, we should probably go see what that collection of fireflies that Brander saw was.
What you look kind of in the direction where Brander is kind of scanning the horizon there. See this especially bright cluster of fireflies hover some feet up ahead. What do you do before I describe anything further, really?
Start moving towards it.
Okay, so it's a little bit southward. You keep moving. A few minutes pass before you can see. You know what? Because a lot of these stuff are mysterious. I'm gonna do something fun here. I'm gonna give you guys a canvas, and you guys are gonna draw me what you think you guys see, and I'll make that the token.
Nice.
we'll do that because I feel like this can go either way. So go ahead and grab your pens and draw on that surface if you want. As you draw closer, you note that the light of the fireflies appears to swing, as if the swarm is held within some sort of a container. A few steps more, and you can tell the fireflies are contained within a tarnished glass jar, tied to the end of a staff. held by what you first mistook for perhaps another tree, but is in reality a 8-foot tall humanoid figure. This creature stands on 4 legs and has a slight hunch. Its proportions are upsetting. You see, it has a big head, long arms ending in claws, and 4 large hind legs covered in jet black fur and ending in paws. Its head is covered beneath a hood made from swamp moss and a large water lily leaf. Several other herbs and stones tied by sinew strings dangle from a pack on its back. It wears a long, loose robe caked in mud with big, drooping sleeves full of holes. You can see it has a crocodilian tail and lizard-like claws for hands, covered in tan white scales. This quadrupedal chimera leans against its walking stick and holds something shiny up to one of its eyes beneath its hood, seemingly using this object to peer through and look in your direction through the haze. For the sake of location, let's say that it stands. Ooh, yeah, abouts. It's disproportionate, large head beneath a hood of moss and several leaves. Reptilian-like talons holding onto the staff, and the other hand holds up some shiny object to its eye, and its torso continues down with a robe, and then the robe falls over the rest of its body, covering it, and you can see these 4 almost panther-like black legs and claws and paws. Like
How far it is from us, right?
You approach a little closer. At this point, it's about 60 feet ahead of you guys. However much for it to be in plain view of you.
What's its body shape like? Like crocodilian, you said?
It's like a centaur. It's like
Oh.
a humanoid front, and then merges into like this like panther-like shape with a crocodilian tail and panther black furred paws.
Interesting. Hello. You're a resident of this swamp? And that will be in Sylvan.
The rest of you kind of hear Gahi speaking a Fey-like language, almost Elvish, but not quite. The creature turns its head, and as it does so, you can see that the head kind of turns in a weird kind of motion as it turns to the side to listen and then back to observing. It doesn't seem to react to the language, doesn't seem to recognize it. And you can hear faint, high-pitched whispering coming from its direction. Just coming from some distance ahead of you.
Alex, Kosh, Molo.
Just keeps watching you through that object.
Yeah, hey, what's it saying?
Don't know. Can't quite make it out.
Does any of you innately speak Draconic?
No.
The Brander?
No, it's not part of my list. I didn't get any language choices, additions.
You've heard Draconic before, but if you don't innately speak it, you don't quite recognize the words, but you can tell dialect is slightly Draconic.
Hmm.
That sounds draconic.
Well,
Alex?
seems like he's trying to express something, so I'll try to understand him. Comprehend languages. I use it like a spell, not as a ritual.
So, after the gesture takes place, through the spell's translation, you begin to hear the voices kind of transform.
Newcomers? Curious? Yes, curious. Alex investigate. Alex Kashmolo investigate, yes. Maybe they have food. Or shinies. Maybe shinies too. Yes, shinies. And we take, and we trade.
I'll translate everything to the group.
The figure, first cowering, kind of takes the object that it was holding up to his eye and kind of puts it back on the strand on its neck, hooking it, and it begins to slowly, awkwardly waddle over the forelegs, kind of almost like in a centipede-like fashion. They don't seem to be moving like you would expect, like a cougar or a jagger to move with dexterity. They move in a broken fashion, centipede-like, independent of each other, and waddle over to you, the body kind of wading to and through as it approaches about, at this point, like 30 feet in front.
Brandor just kind of slowly approaches and he obviously he's not going to be able to speak, but he just kind of goes, trade? Just looking at it, see if any inkling kind of understand what he's saying.
Sure, using common tongue, you can hear it reply back in a broken-ish common.
Yes, trade. Alex Kashmolo trade. Yes. And it's his home. But Alex Kashmolo take visitors. Yes. Who you be? Says the creature.
He just goes, Brandor. And he just says, of the Order of Silver Dragon.
Who? Dragon. Beholds mighty teeth. Yes. We love dragons. We see dragon. Not live. But we see. Never live, though. Would love to see live. Love to serve live. Dragon. A king. Radiant. You serve dragon. You know. Dragon.
I have seen dragon, yes.
Tell us. And now that as you're approaching closer, you can kind of tell a bit more details of this creature. You can kind of see it has a reptilian-like snout beneath the leaf-like hood. And you can just speak.
We haven't seen dragon in many moons. But Irish Kashmolo, years short, lives short. Live fast, die faster. But legends say many moons ago, Irish Kashmolo sea dragon. That is before river rise, before river rose and flowed all become green and smelly. Just like Kashmolo like. You too. Green and smelly.
He looks toward Durandal.
Green and smelly good though. Bring food. Do you bring food? Does green and smelly bring food?
I'll throw him a ration. Just like, take.
You.
I don't know if it.
Okay. You throw a ration. It was halfway through, like talking, and you see from below the robe, about 3 foot below, three short limbs burst outwards, grab the thing, and then back into the rope they go. And then you hear, like, a few seconds later, like, chewing sounds coming from the direction.
Thank. Irish casserole, thank. But you do not give free. I give in trade. Yes. Eric's Kashmol
Is this
has...
3 kobolds in a trench coat?
Roll me insight.
I'm in the other room.
I
I'm in
was
the
just
other room.
about to
Someone roll
ask.
insight for me.
Sure.
Whoever asked, roll me insight.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely this strange dragon creature that I've never seen before.
As you continue hearing chewy noises and the ripping of the rations, the jerky snapping, and the several nuts kind of fall to the ground in front of it beneath its robe, you hear more infighting. As the figure just kind of wobbles, and then like splits in twine. The first half now has these tiny draconic feet of 3 kobolds in a trench coat, and the latter half is the rest of them. As I'll put the rest of them on the map. As
I
the
was
body
joking. I didn't know that was exactly what it was.
from beneath the robe, you see several kobolds jump out. One of them riding what looks to be a black panther-like creature with these yellow fish-like eyes staring either direction, 2 tusks. And they continue fighting over the rations. And this individual, the main one among them, looks back and says,
No! Buddy! Rules fail. But it's okay. You're not dangerous, are you? Kobold, no need to scare you.
Oh, no, we're not dangerous. And Banda does kind of look around, like the creatures, just like, do you have somewhere safe around here?
Swamp never safe. That is the way of swamp. Only green and smelly good. Rest bad.
You said that you trade. Do you have anything nice to trade?
Yes, I have many things to trade. Yes, Eric's Kashmol will bring. Eric's?
he looks down and like you see a pair of hand like bring something up. What are you offering this cutie over here? As he brings out a basket, kind of wicker basket woven, fits in both its hands, so pretty small in yours. As he brings it out, you can see several like black, long insectile creatures crawling within it through the holes.
I give? Centipede basket. Very good.
Centipede basket.
Save life. Throw far.
It saves life?
Yes. Yes, if predator, big predator, big teeth come, throw basket. And run.
Swarm centipedes in a basket. Other goods kind of swing from within its robe. You can see there is a scorpion in a very mottled, muddied jar that's still alive and kind of ding, 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 like with its tail against the glass. There is 3 very irritated, waspy blood flies in a little net that it keeps away from its body, from its backpack, kind of hung off a stick. There's another cage on the other side of its body containing what looks to be like a very malnourished skunk, and it has a flask of what you are not sure if it's poison or if it's just some green sludge, but it seems to like the sludge seems to like kind of muck about and move on its own, and now and then a slimy tendril just slaps against the glass surface and goes back. You also see this kobold has a bag of what those of you more experienced in arcane arts would know is unrefined sulfur, brimstone, that's often used in spells or has its own uses. It's an igneous mixture found in swamps. Igneous acidic. And among other kind of kobold-ish inventions. The Other kobolds continue fighting in the back. You can see some of them have this like slick onyxian skin and a green underbelly, and they seem to be like, kind of sipping this green sludgy acid and have like moss hanging off their horns. Another one has like a shield made from like a turtle shell that's like spiked at the front. The last one riding the big panther thing has like one of his arms missing and a big portion of its tail kind of bitten off, but it seems to be handling the panther-like creature rather well.
Well, perhaps
Well,
instead of trade, they can offer safe passage if we have something for them. They
Uh,
know this
maybe
land
we-
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they say like the swamp is dangerous. So I don't think they.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. Well, you seem to have been survived here for a long time, so that means you know safer ways through certain parts of the swamp.
Perhaps. Molo very good at maps. Make map, but not to mark safe, to mark danger. Where other kobold, parish.
But
Swamp
we have
never
a
safe. Yeah.
we have a certain place that we're heading towards. If you could help us get there, I may have something shiny that you may like.
Shiny.
You hear a whole bunch of voices. The rest of the pack, kind of distracted with the food, turns their head immediately toward Shiny, and you see their like eyes glitter, catching some of your torchlight, and say, "Shiny, shiny, 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 shiny." And then this individual says,
Alex Kashmolo trade for shiny. Trade map for shiny.
Yeah. Yeah. So he just takes out one of the tourmaline ruby hangs out, but the one he failed on, one of those ones.
"Oops, sorry, I deleted Nadia." Go on.
Like the monster came back.
Pretty much just got vaporized.
Yes, the monster just came back.
And he just kind of like he shows him. He's just like, you show us safe passage to where we need to go. This could be yours.
Well, where need go?
Kiai.
I would give the direction and estimated distance to where the Raven is from where we are now. Assuming that's something to try and
That direction of Baba. Baba biggest bad of all. Alex Kashmolo think that is why Baba named by Baba. Bad. Nest of Baba is deep in green. Kobolds no go there. Kobolds can show way, but kobolds no go near Baba nest. Baba no go near kobold nest. Baba kobold understand.
I suppose I have a more interesting question. How do you deal with the flies? Gave us quite a pain as we were trying to catch our breath.
They kind of seem to be, some of them are either dressed in swamp-feeling clothes. The more draconic-looking kobolds, the more feral ones, have these scales that seem to be either naturally protecting them, or perhaps they've developed some sort of resistance over time, or perhaps they have no resistance at all, and they're literally being harassed by them. But it's kind of what you can innately tell.
We just
Yeah,
eat them
maybe-
faster than they eat us.
Well, if you get us close to where we need to go, shiny yours.
Why go to Baba? Baba dangerous. Kobold tell you secret. Kobold think Baba is mighty dragon. Kobold see her fly in sky. Big head like dragon. Big, scary. But sight to see. Nest protected. Watched by straw men. Straw men scream and kill kobold if kobold walk close. No like, big bad. We don't go close, but we show way. I give map. I trade map for shiny.
Yeah, show us way, and shiny yours.
No,
And
trade now. Show later. Or you be like Baba. Baba also have no food or no shiny to give. Well, Baba has food, but Baba no share with kobold. Alex Kashmolo see dragon Baba fly to food hoard when dark come, but keep hoard in wood circle near big rock man cave. Wood circle too far, too tall for Kobold to jump, and too loud. But you have food. Kobold 1, Baba food. Your food. Either. Kobold will trade for shiny rock. Kobold give you map and shiny for Baba food.
Where's this wooden circle that's too high for you to jump?
I show you. You don't take map, yes? Only take map if trade.
Yeah, we'll only take map if trade.
From his robes, he retrieves the map and shows it to you. It is stained with mud and mold, and has like draconic writing on it. You can click on it to zoom onto it. He points a taloned finger towards south center of the map. Toward what looks to be like a circular drawing with 3 white blotches in it. And he points to Baba food. You give us Baba food, we give you our shiny. Shiny helps see through haze, through fog. Keep Kobold safe, but we have plenty. We can trade.
And look at the rest and go, what do y'all think?
I'm assuming that the map has the little drawings of the animal head and the dragon skull on it.
Yeah, what you see is what you see.
Well, it looks like his food might be her livestock being kept at what I would guess is a shrine. It's potentially the fane of this place. It's the right shape. It matches the shape of the other fanes we've been to. Might be worth us heading that way anyways. Can't be that hard to
What is shrine? Funny word. Sound neat.
I'd much rather deal with the main problem first. That's what we're here for. Anything else can be passed to the side.
Yeah. Shrines are places of worship.
War. We know war. War happened that way.
And he kind of points to a vacuous space in the map in the north western side.
Many bones after war. Bones tasty, especially when made soft by swamp.
Seems to be talking about some sort of a battlefield to the northwest.
But no shrine. Well, but keep food in Wood Circle, near Big Rockman Cave. But Wood Circle too tall for Kobold to jump, and too loud.
Well, I think to get there we need to actually walk past where we're heading, don't we?
That's what it looks like. And besides, I'll look at the cobalt. If it's wood, then my hand will ignite. Fire
You know very smart. You know very smart. That is how Alex Kashmolo finds you. You are fire boy. You're with your torches and
why am I Spanish all of a sudden? Fucking Mexican.
That is how we find you. You cast fire out of hands, and we see from far away with our shiny. If you smart, you no do that. If you set fire to Baba's things, Baba come, Baba kill, Baba eat you, and then we get no food. And we no trade for map, and we get no shiny, and you get no shiny. Alex Kashmolo will just have to wait for the next
fire-bearing adventurer to come to the swamp. Essentially, every time you cast fire magic, that can be seen from afar, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Trade for map. Alex Kashmolo will give you something. Give Alex and his friends something in return.
You offer one of the broken plates. One of the ones they failed. Say, trade this for a map.
One of the broken plates of your suit?
No, the Rubelite. See, one of the ones he was working on that didn't work out.
Ooh. Yes. Redstone, bloodstone from the deep. Kobold have to go to Spider Place for these. You find. You brave. You kill Spider?
Kill many spider.
Ooh. You brave. Good trade. I take one shiny, share among friends, and you share this among friends, but share without tearing paper, because then no map.
It hands a map to you.
Alright, he takes a map.
Go ahead and dump
this one.
one.
So
Really?
he does kind
Redder
of
does not know Draconic?
well, I couldn't choose more. I never got options to choose more languages, so.
Okay. What's your background?
Background.
Yes, your character background.
It's
Oh, you're a clan's craftsman, that's why. Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
clan
Okay.
crafter.
Right. Alright, fair enough.
He just looks at him. So, red spots danger.
Red danger. Blue also danger. Green also. Swamp all danger. But red is where kobold die. And where green and smelly might die too.
So, question: if you're a clan crafter, it's Dwarvish, or your choice if you already speak Dwarvish, which you would already have spoken, right?
I guess, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
So
Oh, wait, I was
you
like-
have a language from that if you.
Oh, okay, it just didn't give me an option to choose another language when I was creating.
Sounds like Roll20. There's a lot of little things like that where it gets a little confused.
Well, I'll try to grab the basket that he said throw away, and monster follow, something like that.
You grabbing his stuff?
I have shiny in my hand.
What's your shiny? Because you reach for it without offering for it. He just goes, no, not trade.
25 silvers.
Coin we find a lot. Coin we find in mud. Many leave coin in mud. Leave themselves in mud. Don't like coin, like shiny that's rare. Like dragon shiny. Or spider stone shiny he can lift the ruby.
They can find coin in mud. They're looking for something, little kobold treasures and such. Whatever.
Yeah. Now I got it.
Jeb, hearing that, would actually just speak up and say,
He's alive.
I know, if people leave coin in mud, but have you found coin in giant crocodile? And he holds out his, the half-eaten pouch of coins. It's the 11 gold coins, but he spins the tale of how he found it inside a giant crocodile.
I mean, coin is coin.
Yeah, I didn't know if they cared about the story at all.
I mean, he's fascinated by the story, but by the end of it, what trade? Because no trade in stories, and no trade in coin.
Fair enough.
They seem kind of impressed with your bravery, treating you one pack as one pack. One pack treating you as another pack. Not seeing you as a threat and kind of...
Well,
respecting the power you may have possessed
That
and the
is-
promise of possibly retrieving food from Baba.
Yes, that is quite useful. Suppose if we want to go get at food from Baba, we should probably head out now.
Well, he's still looking at Aya, who's looking at the skunk in the cage. And I'm still waiting to see if she has anything to trade.
Yeah, I don't have anything shiny. Or do I? Yeah, I don't have anything. I'll back off.
Didn't he say trade him food? Yeah.
They trade in food?
I'll offer him all my rations.
Which is how much?
Oh,
Let me look for it. Roll20 doesn't have search function, right?
Not for inventory.
Oh yeah, it has. Well, I don't have more. I have only 2 left, so
Food is
2
good.
rations.
Roll persuasion.
Okay, I take. I take because I like you. I like you. I like horns. Horns like dragon. And I take that as blessing. Not Baba's blessing, but maybe other dragon. Dragon from legend.
He takes your rations, and he's gonna go ahead and give you the skunk in a cage. It is contained in a very small cage for its size. The skunk is kind of half-fed and just kind of lays there, but it's animated. You may use it as you wish, actually. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with it. It's like a skunk in a cage. You can go ahead and add it to your inventory.
Green and stinky stays green and stinky.
I don't know how to spell skunk, apparently. I spelled it right. Oh, 5e doesn't have stats for a skunk, really? Only in the stat bar. Oh, alright. Weird. I'll find it later. Yeah.
Oh. You're
gonna
pretty
be
smart.
You're making
And I
some
back off.
fart clouds later.
Hmm?
I said Aya will be making some fart clouds later with the skunk. Aiming it at enemies and like squeezing the skunk like at them. Like in the cartoons.
Skunk has a walking speed.
Alright, fuck me.
It looks like it. It's like literally half fed and pathetic, but it has some actions in combat. It's great. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. Anyway, that's that with Nadia as Alex Kashmo turns to the rest of you.
I give map, you give trade. This was very nice, thank you. You go, we show you where Baba lives? Or where safe? Safe?
Where are you heading next?
like looking just kinda at the like,
You can
what
explain the
time
map too.
yeah, what time would it say it is? Like at night.
You guys have journeyed since morning, and rested during noon. It is about an hour or two past noon at this point.
That's what, about 1 PM.
In terms of safe, the kobold would point toward the western side of the map, toward 2 locations. One of them is marked with some draconic runes around what looks to be like a green swamp-like land with holes, where Adex describes it being home. And to the south of it is a little hilltop-looking thing, right? Also safe. He says that the flies don't bother no one around that area, so might prove is a good place for any rest that you might need. For some reason, the kobolds fear a central structure in that area, but the hill itself seems to be relatively safe. Anywhere else is the swamps, so really up to chance.
Just looks at the others. What are we thinking? Are we ready to go to Baba's right now, or?
Yes, I think we should continue to Baba. I mean, we're looking for Muriel. The more time, if she's alive, the more time it passes, it may change.
If nothing else, we probably want to stop by and take a peek. Right? More information, know what's going on.
Yeah.
Although we did take a beating from that croc.
Yeah, exactly. If we were to venture anywhere else and we get into trouble again, it's going to be harder for us, and then to also deal with Baba, possibly. Who knows what we're walking into with that? I'd rather be fully prepared and fully at my full potential to meet her.
So we head there first, try and avoid anything else.
I say we beeline it.
Yeah, so just looks at the kobold and just goes, show us Baba, we look, and then we go safe.
Okay.
Alex kind of takes the sandspar stone, the little translucent calcite stone, refracting light near its clavicle, takes it off the string, and looks toward a direction, like southeastern direction, where your spell last pinged, and it hands you the sandspar to look through. If you peer through it, you see that the light refracts through it in such a way that the haze does not affect your sight. And you can look, and you can see as far as like 700 feet through the haze. And past the trees and the muck, you can see a large rectangular structure with a roof, and a couple cages swinging from either side of this building. Large cages, larger to see from this distance, with black moving figures inside. It just says that that's the direction of Baba. He's willing to get you as close as like about 300 feet before the kobolds essentially don't approach any closer.
It does kind of say, does Baba keep prisoner in those cages?
Kobold don't know what Baba keep. Prisoner or food, maybe both. But they don't get close enough to really investigate.
Yeah. So, relay the information. So, what are we planning? Should we try find somewhere to rest? Because, as you said, if we fight Baba, this could get very dicey.
Yeah.
What's everyone's opinions?
I agree it could get dicey, but the concern is we had problems short resting here, even sitting here for an hour. I'd be concerned about us staying here much longer for a full night without something.
They did point out one spot where you can rest. I talked about this over in the west.
Yeah, the kobolds had a place that is safe, not safe, but safe.
So,
at least from the flies.
Yeah.
Roughly speaking, how long would it be to get to Yaga's hut?
Baba Yaga's has 300 feet to the south.
So that's like minutes away if we move. Or no, less, because 30 or 60 feet around, we can close that in. Nothing.
300 feet's gonna get it with rough terrain. It's like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, But I don't have rough terrain. I fly.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, still.
The rest of the party will
Well.
have to take their time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think we. I suppose. Do you think I try and sneak up, take a peek around, and then get back here? And then we head out and rest. Unless I find something particularly bad.
If anything is to happen to you, we won't be able to assist.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
take us too long to get here.
Either way, it's probably that creature we saw earlier who already came to us. She already came to us with such hostility, but perhaps there's still room to negotiate something.
Maybe.
You saw Baba before, but Swamp play tricks on ice, which is why we have Sunspar. Sunspar helps see truth of things. Swamp has many trickies. Sometimes Baba here, sometimes Baba there. Real Baba always fly. Many come to Swamp. Baba keep them away. Baba scare them away with tricky. Sunspar helps see truth.
And what would you give for the spar?
Baba food. Big, succulent, horned, white animal. In circular wood hoard. You get us one, we give you one Sunspar.
They seem to be very adamant on trying this animal, whatever it is. Haven't never tasted it before.
Yeah, Nadi just takes a deep breath and just kind of rolls her eyes. It's like it's one thing after another. Either we risk it and deal with Baba on our own.
I mean, unless you have an
For now.
alternative, there's not just one way, right?
Right, no, I'm just saying from her perspective, it's just, or we get food, but either way, she'll probably find out, and now we're on bad terms. So either way, we're at a loss right now. We're at a disadvantage, I should say.
Yeah.
If it is true what they say, the kobolds, then obviously she's very adept in the arcane arts. Could have been an illusion that we were talking to. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes, but illusions only prints. So
That we know
yeah.
of. But she could probably surpass any of us. Who knows what we're walking into?
Exactly, that's why I said if we really want to do this, do we want to do it the way we are now?
Yeah. Well, I'm good to go, but I can delay. I'm fine if we need to rest. But I also was not hindered as much by our encounter with the crocodile.
I'm not really comfortable resting here, even if the flies do not bother us. There are many animals that are roaming around, and when I say animals, I mean giant crocodiles and their like.
That's why kobolds stay out of water. Water bad.
Yeah.
Worse things swim in these waters than giant crocodiles, says the kobold.
Yeah. Well. Let's.
We could just put it to a vote and make it unanimous, or
That doesn't make sense.
If
well, it has to be a unanimous vote. Everyone has
Right.
to agree on the same thing.
if we're concerned about safety of taking of potentially running into Baba Yaga now, then we head to a place where we can rest, I think. I think that's really our only real option. Because ultimately, the options are either head over here to rest, or head here to try and sneak in and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and let's go find a place to rest. And people seem to need rest right now.
Yeah.
Fine. Then we rest.
Better for us all to be at our healthiest given what's to come. It's better to be over prepared and not. I suspect that Muriel's met a fate similar to that desiccated corpse we found anyways, given what the swamp has to offer.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Don't know yet.
Af-
But
After all,
if she is alive, us at our full strength, not at our full strength, is not going to help her. Just putting ourselves at risk. Take more risk of failing.
okay.
So, kind of a question. Well, looking over you guys, like, do you guys still look like super visibly hurt? And then
Yeah.
you took,
Bloody. I took a lot.
but
I'm
you used
fine.
like what, 6 hit die or something, and then you regained pretty much all that back.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So Brander's still looking in really bad shape.
Yeah, like he's like at his halfway point. Just near his halfway.
Your temporary points are till you take a short rest, or like a minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour.
Yeah, I can use that, but it's a 7 hit points. Like that gets me a bit up, but I'm still
Yeah,
relatively fucked.
he's in bad shape.
Okay. Well,
So let's go to that point of rest, and perhaps we look at that place that the kobolds were afraid of there. Might be interesting. We might find something useful. You never know. After all, if they're afraid of it, perhaps there's something of Baba's there. Something related to her.
Is the party consenting to going toward the place of rest then?
yes.
Right. For the sake of expediency, the kobold, Alex Cashmallow, well, the three of them, turn to the rest of the group and kind of snarl, giving quick commands to continue foraging and searching throughout and return home once they're done, as Alex Cashmallow will lead you toward that place of rest. You follow the kobold past the west reach of Barrett's Mire, amid which are these like brimstone and sulfur pools, calling the waters a bright sea green. You see the mist here is a similar color, and the smell of sulfur is in the air and rotten egg. They lead you past here and abouts before you notice an interesting structure in the distance. It appears to be large, like some kind of a communal center that once stood here, standing in front of what is unmistakably a large graveyard, like 300 feet across. Some of the gravestones have sunk into the mud, some have disappeared completely, some still stand. You continue walking past this as the kobold navigates you through the swamp toward the place of rest marked on his map. Is anybody needs a bathroom break real quick?
No, I'm good. Personally.
Good.
All right,
I'm good.
I'll load us into the map then. So you guys are coming from Yabouts. Nadia. Hey, Jeb, how's vision?
Full map.
Full map, that's fine. Seems to be a little less haze in the section as you climb the hill. Hidden by the fog and elevated by a few feet above the surrounding marsh is a raised plot of land, barely 10 feet wide, enclosed by a disintegrating iron fence. At the center of the plot is a life-size stone monument, carved in likeness of a kneeling human peasant girl clutching what appears to be a rose. And all throughout, all the other features of this hill are kind of sunken in the swamp, but you note the absence of flies and such.
We must go back to the pack. They're nothing without their leadership. But we wish you well and hope you live on to trade more and bring us Baba food.
So, question for myself: how many kobolds are there in this structure? Is it 5?
Sure. It's like 4 of them, one on top of the other.
Okay, so there are 4 kobolds.
Yeah.
As they're heading out, I will hand each of them a berry. Say, might try eating that. You might find it more enjoyable than other things.
One of the smallish hands from halfway up the robe rummages around goods, and they all take the berries, and then hands you back a vial, kind of mucked over, the glass not quite translucent, but you can see a green sludge within it.
You take this. Kobolds don't trade for free. Trade for trade. Such is the way. But thank you. We must go. Bye.
Well, what's in it? Before he leaves.
It
Or
seems
he can just run off.
Seems to be some kind of swamp ooze. Doesn't bother explaining though.
Yeah.
It's a glass vial, dirtied over, and some green swamp ooze within.
Well, we'll have to figure out what that is at some point. And I'm assuming you got that I gave them each a good berry.
Yes.
Filthy as they are, there's a shred of civilization to them.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're no different from you. They're basically little merchants.
Yep. Well, suppose we should set up a camp and some type of perimeter here. We can hunker down and then head in to Baba's place in the middle of the night.
Is there anything? I mean, is this like a shrine or?
It seems to be like some sort of a shrine, because in the center of the plot is a life-size stone monument carved in likeness of a kneeling peasant girl clutching a rose, and kind of stepping around to look at her face. Although her features are gray and weather-worn, she bears a striking resemblance to Irina Kalyana.
Okay, well, I can set us up a small perimeter. At least give us some cover.
Its features are gray and the weather worm.
Those of you approaching the monument from the front, you see carved into the monument's base is an epitaph. The epitaph reads, Marina, taken by the mists.
Well, taken by the mists. That's take many people.
Just kind of look at Jeb and Nadia. He's going up here, or he's going to chill in the water.
Not the best accommodations, but fine.
I wonder why this part hasn't been taken by the swamp or by the creatures.
Knows. Just think you're at, like, I don't know, like one of those fancy hotels. Use your imagination.
Well, maybe there's just a small little bit of something left in this land. And then are those actual, like, you said, hold on, maybe I missed it.
Oops.
Is that just part of the model? Is there, like, actually, like, some, like, decent, you know, like, fauna around, like, at the bottom of the statue, like, roses or whatever growing around it?
There are roses growing in the base of the statue, among other flowers and swamp growth.
How are the roses doing? Do they look like they're doing fairly well here?
Well.
Okay.
Once everyone's in, I'll set up a 20-foot radius with alarm. Cast an alarm.
Okay.
Before we go to rest, I'm gonna cast Divine Sense. To see if, like, the ground is sacred or something like that. Really, that's what I'm looking.
You don't detect sacrilege or desecration of any kind. Yeah.
Okay. Looks to be a statue. Does it looks like it's missing anything from their hands, or there is like a socket on the statue?
There's a rose held in her grasp. The face has a resemblance of Irina Kolyana. The statue itself doesn't seem like it's missing anything, and seems that it is frequently being upkept. While the gate itself is covered with moss, mud, and rust, the statue itself has been either manually or magically cleaned. Doesn't appear to be missing anything on the statue itself.
Well,
The top portion of the epitaph plate has some wear, as if its surface has been scuffed many times over the years. Kind of like if you ever saw a bronze or copper statue, and people keep holding its hand or caressing it at certain spots.
Yeah.
The metal seems less tarnished at those spots.
Corrodes.
Yes.
Yeah, skin damages.
Yeah, so it seems that somebody's skin has left its mark over the many, many years on top of the epitaph.
Yeah. Wow. Well.
We should be safe with this perimeter, but obviously should have someone keep watch.
Yeah.
Well, if we're
Just
staying
take
here
it.
all night, then do it in increments of 2 then. Brando, you look the most hurt, so might as well just rest up as much as you can. I don't mind taking whatever watch.
I'll go. Oh, I'm happy to go early. I want to spend a little bit of time looking around this place.
Well, if you can help it, don't leave. Or if you can help it.
I guess short resting.
Do you want a short rest
Somebody talks.
or
Yeah,
long
I'm
rest, rather?
confused. Are we trying to short rest or long rest?
I don't know.
I will say short rest, but I'm not the one who needs it, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm full and I don't need it either. So
yeah, like I have only used one spell slot. That's it, or two
Yeah,
spells.
well, I'll use up my last 2 hit dice and we'll rest.
That's why I'm asking if you're short resting or long resting. If you're long resting, then it's gonna be a full on day because you pretty much woke up from long rest this morning. I'm gonna flip to the next morning, if that's the case, and handle all events that happen from there. So it's your call.
Hey.
If anyone- I was gonna say, if anyone also has, with Brandart being so bad in shape, I mean, if we're not trying to stay here overnight and risk it, I mean, if anyone has any healing abilities, I myself am lacking a little bit in that.
Yeah. So if we're going to,
I'll use up, like, we'll do the short rest, no matter what, we'll just do the short rest, right? And I'll use up my 2 hit dice. See where that takes me.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So if you do that, and what I will do is
One.
I will.
hey, that's good.
That's a good roll. Get another one.
Yeah, if I can get another one like that, I'll be pretty much A-okay. Yep. You know what? I'm actually pretty good. He's pretty good now.
You
I will hand you 5 good berries to eat if you want.
Yeah, well, if I eat them, that puts me great up.
I was gonna say I have 2 if needed as well.
Consume
Right,
4 of those, and then boom. Like, we're good to go.
Anybody else does anything else during the short rest as you kind of listening to the silence and the croaking of
yes.
frogs?
I will spend a little bit of time searching around this area to gather flora.
If you're foraging, you won't be able to roll hit dice, just so you know, you're not resting. But you can take
I'm
the
not
hour
resting,
if you want.
I'm good.
So go ahead and roll me that nature check if you don't mind.
Oh, actually no, because I have advantage because I have proficiency with the healer's kit, or not healer's kit, the herbalism kit.
One moment, please. Swamp flora. Foraging the swamp. I see. Just checking to see. Okay. You find, after some foraging, several trees, short about your height, growing at the edges of this Moorish shrine. They grow along the edges of the swamp, with gnarled roots that reach down into the brackish waters, and these spindly branches protruding vertically towards the sky. The branches are covered with large amounts of small oval-shaped leaves, and some of them bud small hard fruit that drop off to float along the slight currents of the swamp toward direction of the greater bodies of water.
Assuming
Mangroves, yes. Mangrove, that would be water for your reagent.
Yeah.
Maybe mangrove.
Well, these will be useful at some point in the future.
Anybody else does anything else during your short rest?
Well, I will try to, make friends of the skunk. I will try to put my hand inside of it to try to calm him.
Okay. You open the cage. It creaks. It's made from these twigs and mud and twine. You open the cage and try to reach your hand. Go ahead, roll me like an animal handling check to see how well it might trust you. The skunk has not been treated very well by these kobolds. And as soon as you kind of pet it, it opens its eye and its fur stands on end, and it scuttles to the back and whips its tail around and sprays you.
Sorry, Render.
A familiar putrid stench is on the air once again, just like in the last session. It doesn't seem tame. It seems like wild caught, and you actually have to close the cage quickly before it escapes.
We'll try again later. Don't worry.
Skunkin' cage.
And next time you do that, please do it a bit downwind and some distance from.
Hey, roll me a Constitution
Okay.
saving throw.
Sure. Come.
You wretch. You continue retching for like about half a minute, and you find it like very hard to breathe through this. It's a sickening poison-like effect that lasts for a little bit less than a minute before you shake it off. But now you know what a skunk is capable of.
I guarantee everything is gonna run away from us.
I will come back and go. What did you do? That's worse than I've done.
They usually respond well to me.
To Druidcraft to try and do the harmless effect of smell of roses around air. It's not enough to cancel out the skunk, but it does something, maybe.
Some perfume to the garbage.
Something like that. It doesn't really work.
By the end of... How much does alarm last? Like 8 hours? Render?
How long does what last?
Alarm.
Yeah, it lasts 8 hours, but it was just to set. I set it up like because I thought we possibly, but it keeps us safe either way.
I mean, it keeps you alarmed, but yes. I don't know about safe, but yes. Nothing triggers it for the hour that you stay there. With that being said, if nobody else wants to do anything else during the short rest, what do you do from here? Brenner's starting to look a little bit better, having patched his wounds and such.
I would have collected a little bit more of the mangrove or mangrove stuff to have firewood. Because it burns readily even when it's wet.
Yep.
So I would have some of that.
You don't have to tell me that, tell your party that. I know all the plants.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd come back. Say, well, I found some of this, which should burn, give us the ability to make a campfire even in this weather. Although it's not nearly enough to last for the full night if we were to run a campfire for that. But it's enough to at least get us started and hopefully be able to do have wood that dries out.
Yeah. You mentioned weather, and a slight drizzle begins to kind of come down. Not so much a storm on the horizon, but that perpetual dampness of the swamp. Some of those droplets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will predict.
I'm rolling
the
for it every
weather
hour,
at
man.
Yep, I will predict the weather and my location for the next 24 hours. Sorry, as the weather started to kind of get worse. All the weather.
What?
You take 249, 859 damage.
1, 2, 3, 5.
It's gonna,
So 1 per hour.
The storm is going to gather in 16 hours. The next storm to hit.
Well, it's going to get
It's about 3
very
p.m. right
wet
now.
here at some point in the near. And it's going to get very wet here at some point in the distant-ish future. We've got a little bit of time, but
It's always about here.
Well,
Because I don't actually know when. I just know that it will.
Sure. So the spell senses that it will the next day.
Yeah, so going to storm here at some point in the next day, so let's try and get what we need to get done here finished as quickly as we can. I'd rather not be outside like this and
Let's go
a
meet
downpour.
Baba.
I think so. Question is, do we go after the food or do we go after the main place with the raven? Oh yeah, I will ritual cast locate creature again and target raven. I'm assuming same location.
I'm checking the closest one from where you're at now. Yeah, same location.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we are here to, retrieve her and return her back to Davian.
yeah.
Anything else that we have right now is just considered optional. While it would be nice to see what other treasures and whatever, kind of secrets and mysteries we could find in here, it's really up to how things go from here, from Baba.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what
we
has me
need-
curious, though, is what exactly, if she was to make her presence known to us earlier, why would she just not expel us out of the swamp, or at least try earlier? So
maybe she was busy doing something else.
it's definitely
Well-
possible. But there must be something that she wants. If she also has the stone that we want to return to Davian.
Well, I guess then is it a stealth mission then? Going quietly?
Yes.
Any problems? Hopefully find Muriel and then get out. With the stone if we can.
So should we depart then?
Well,
Make our way?
stealth would be a little bit hard. We are moving heavier or slower through the swamp, sludging water, everything else. It may just be best just to confront her as is. But I mean, it is worth a try.
Either works. So we'll deal with this now, and any of those optional things you spoke of come after.
Yep. And as we get closer, I can try and hide us again. I'll turn to AI, not like I did in the spirit world.
Last time it played well until I knocked something off. I'll try to not do the same.
Yeah. So, to that end, I think we make our way towards the Raven, and I will wait until we're probably 400 feet out from the hut before I will cast Pass Without Trace on us.
Yeah, and we use the map to avoid the areas. It might take us a lot longer to traverse, but we use the map to avoid the areas that
that's fair and fine. What route? Show me the route you take.
I need to.
Yeah.
For those of you trying to find the map, there it is.
Okay, so we
There is a gap, like right where the dragon's head is. If we're coming back from north to south, there's a gap right there, avoiding those red X's where other kobolds have been killed.
Yeah, so it's basically we'd head east for a bit and then head north and east again for the gap.
Another option is...
I don't know what you're showing because you're talking, but I don't see any arrows except for guys. You can feel free.
Yeah.
You want me to open the map bigger, like actually bigger, like on a
This
thing?
is what I was kind of thinking. It allows us to avoid the red areas.
You want to avoid the red cross That's what you.
The red crosses and the red dots, like.
Yeah. Yes, I think we. This off.
I mean,
This should be almost the safest and simplest for us to follow route.
Yeah,
I
like.
have an idea. Let's do this. For the sake of my sanity. Feel free to draw on this shit. There you go. No need for a grid for this one. It's just for drawing, but yes.
Yeah, it's basically like that.
And at the on the last leg of that, I would have cast pass without trace.
Okay, fair enough. So, you go ahead and start maneuvering north of the graveyard. Through the fog, you see the empty shell of an old stone church, and a cemetery throughout, leaning gravestones enclosed by a disintegrating iron fence. You walk past this half of cemetery that has been sunken in the mire and continue onwards. At this point, that's going to be about the point where you will cast Pass Without Trace. Can I get the group then to roll me a group stealth check, please? Is that 25 without the modifier or with the modifier?
Without.
Without. So 35. 38.
15 or 20. No, 15. 15.
15. 18. Divided by 5.
I got 10 and 14.
I will turn to Jeb as we're going. Basically, you're doing pretty good at this. And then I will deliberately not look at Aya.
Yeah, you see that I'm hitting every branch I see, and my steed is also like hitting the trees, not the branches.
It's why we rolled so high. You're distracting anyone from seeing me and Yahi.
Yeah, there you go. Bait.
Bear with me. Just looking at bonuses. And passives. Okay, cool. Okay, so from the 400-foot line, where do you approach from? The west?
Yeah, directly, I guess.
Yeah, west to east.
Sure. Confident in your stealth, you approach from the west. That would be area. This one. Okay.
But we have to be careful. The kobold mentioned a straw man. That there were some straw men around.
Pass by as you approach this area. How's vision, by the way? You should not be able to see everything.
And see everything.
I
can see everything.
Map.
You can.
Yeah. Yes,
I can.
Okay. So dynamic
There's nothing
lighting.
on it, but I can see the whole map.
I see the whole map too. Now I don't.
Now I
Black.
see black.
Okay. So you guys, let me put you guys first. And as you guys are approaching this, you do pass by several scarecrows. Their bellies are sewn shut, but you can see several wings and feathers poking out as if they're stuffed with dead ravens. And they are hung on these crosses, their hands bladed, and different sigils across their sackcloth flesh. They're inert or unreacting, whichever, you're not really sure. With such high stealth, though, they don't detect you. They don't seem to stir in either case. For the sake of this, I'm going to say you guys are approaching from over here. So there's Nadia. We have Aya. Aya has her companion. Then we have Jeb. Then we have Brandar. Brandar has his companion. And then Keahi, arrange yourself where you're at as you approach within 30 feet of the structure from the west
is
side.
Is it pitch black out? Because I don't have any vision right now.
The haze is most concentrated here. Those of you who have torches, it does help with the haze. But it
Yeah, I would not have my torch out because we're trying to sneak in.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. For the sake of this, I feel like because it's gonna make my map lag otherwise. Let's just say daylight mode on. Done. Now good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just do that. Someone has. Sorry, just bear with me here, because we. Someone has built a ramshackle wooden hut on the stump of what was once an enormous tree. The rotting roots of the stump thrust up from the mire like the legs of a gigantic spider. Flanking the hut's doorway are two... Sorry, not doorway, but flanking the hut are two cages you can see from here that dangle like hideous ornaments from the eaves. You can hear and see scores of ravens trapped in each one. They squawk and flutter their wings excitedly as you approach. You also note a figure seated limply in one of the northern cages.
From the clothes, would we be able to tell if it's Muriel or by hair or anything?
Seems feminine, familiar streak, possibly, yeah.
She's there.
Muriel is seated within the cage. Her hand is limply hanging from one of the cage holes.
So she doesn't look conscious.
No.
Okay.
So she's here.
Yeah. Well, now that we're here, you want me to fly on ahead quick, see if I can't get a little bit better view of what's going on in here?
Sounds like a good idea. If Baba is here, to distract her, I could try to free Muriel, but don't know what I can do after that. We need someone to carry her.
Can be on Elena if she cannot walk.
Well, the issue is, I think Alina will be heard. Anyone who can help me carry her will most likely be heard coming.
Yeah.
Still need the stone, though.
I don't know where it is. But I'm more concerned about just getting her out.
We first need to see. First, need to see if Baba's still here.
Yeah.
But thing is, like, yes, we can get her out now, but right now, maybe if we do have to get into a possible fight, maybe they're just rather safe.
Yeah.
Compared to her being on the ground and amongst us.
Yeah, well, at this point, you guys are close enough that if something goes wrong, you'll be able to get there quickly. Suppose I should fly on up and see if anyone's in the house.
Just look for any, like, shiny light through any window structure or anything like that. Too close.
Yeah, so, just going up very close to the ground and quiet as I can. I want to try and get up to the house and kind of try and get a better view both inside of the house and around the house to try and see, is there anybody else near here?
Sure. Yeah. cawing of crows seems to mask any possible noise that you might be making past the spell. As you maneuver to a small circular window at the side of the house, peering inside. You go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. 7. Ignore the plus 10, because that's global skill modifier.
Also, I'm lying to you. This house does not have windows. You check the back wall, you check the side walls. There are no windows. From where you are at right now, you don't see any windows. I just kind of assumed, because whatever. But no, apparently not. Just log cabin from all sides.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and try and make my way further along to here to try and look out on the other side of the house.
From where you are, for sure you confirm that it is unconscious Muriel, as well as looking before you, you see what appears to be a gargantuan skull. It's turned upside down, hollowed out, and immersed in the mud before the hut. Peering around the corner, you see a single door in the hut. Wall. Arch. Closed.
If I look at the door from kind of out here, does the door have a window on it, or?
It has a cross section with a little peek window. Yes, that's what I was reading before. Yeah.
I will kind of look at the others for a second, and then flutter on up and kind of try and peek my eye through a corner of that window.
Quickly peeking, you
see who's inside.
See, it's packed with old furniture. There's a wooden cot. You see a wicker cabinet, a slender wardrobe, a wooden table, a stool next to it, a barrel top with a wooden chest, and an iron tub stained and filled with blood. In the middle of the room, there doesn't seem to be anybody, but there for a moment. But then you see in the middle of the room is this ghastly wooden crib with a small child sitting inside.
Okay, so seeing that and kind of confirming that there's just a child in there and no one else, I will go ahead and load on back to the party and describe what I saw. Looks like there's a child in a crib there, though no one else, which is a little bit strange. Girl, don't you folk care about keeping children safe? That's normally we don't leave them unattended, right?
Child? Here?
I mean, this place isn't normal.
Yeah. Also, it's definitely Muriel there. She's unconscious. And I would have been able to tell that she was alive but unconscious, right? When I walked by?
I don't know. Did you check?
I would have checked to make sure at least she wasn't obviously
You didn't
dead.
check last time. Wanna go check again?
Yeah. Yeah, I will flip back over.
Roll me a medicine check.
When you come back, I ask you to take a good look at the lock as well.
You can tell that she is alive, though her breathing is shallow, and she looks malnourished, tortured. There's cuts on her arms in places. Looks to have been tortured and exposed to the elements for some time. There are several insect bite marks along her arms, and through her shallow breathing, you can see a little bit of foam forming at the kind of edge of her lip. And you can see her eyes have kind of almost sunken into her skull as the skin is pale and mal-colored. She appears fevered.
So I would.
Roll me perception.
Six. I am more occupied with Muriel and than anything else. Okay, and I will go ahead and fly on back. She's alive but feverish, and I think, do we just get her out now and make a break for it? Because I can
Yes.
get her out of that cage relatively easily, I think. It'll potentially be a little bit noisy, but
I can.
Does that make noise?
I can. If you're going to make some noise, I can at least see if I can open the lock quietly before we attract any undue attention.
Yeah, let's.
Unless the lock was some sort of magical device that would alert whoever to our presence.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, let's. Why don't the two of us head out? You can try and pick the lock, get her out. If that doesn't work, we go with my plan. And I turn to the rest of them. It'll be very obvious my plan, at least visually. And I will go ahead and head back over, and I will make sure that I stay within 30 feet of Jeb as he comes with, if he is coming with.
I'm definitely coming with. Obviously, there's no windows, but I'm still going to minimize like sight lines, like cracks. Like if there's any large cracks in the house, like he's gonna try to avoid them as best he can. You know, slink through, and then he's gonna work on the lock.
Yeah, and whenever I've been moving back and forth, I've been flying very low to the ground.
You see inside each cage is a swarm of ravens that fiercely peck at the cage walls. Each cage is held shut by what appears to be Baba Lizaga's locks, and you get out your lockpicking kit and notice that a spell is making your job a little bit more difficult than usual. It's still possible, but you're quite unfortunately familiar with arcane lock spells.
Yes.
You can try and unlock it if you wish.
I definitely tell Kiahi that we had this all over the manor to keep the pores from our most precious things.
I trust
worry.
That means you know how to do it.
Well, I also worry that if this might not be how it works, he's just gonna say it. If I fail, that it will alert her to my attempt at doing so.
Okay, so if you fail, then I should be quick on the draw on mine.
Yes. I'll let you know if things go poorly, and then I guess it's time to go loud.
Okay.
Like the spell is making his hands, numb and cold. Like he's not as dexterous. He's gonna shake it out. Take a deep breath in and work on the lock on Muriel's cage first.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that dexterity check.
Nice. Not the best.
You rattle for a few more seconds more. Half a minute passes, and at that point, you can tell, like, as your lockpick, one of them snaps. Now go.
It is this creature clearly knows her magic. I can reattempt this, but I worry it'll just take more and more time.
So I will quickly go over to Muriel and try and feed her a good berry.
Would it be the same
Right.
check,
I'm
or
As your hand comes through the cage, as you're trying to maneuver past the ravens, 4 minutes have passed since you've left Meg, and you get this eerie sense like something is watching you. The same sense that you've had throughout all the swamps, but now it's super intense. At the same time, you hear the burbling of water to the south, and then something emerges from those waters. It is tall, with lean hands, familiar, white hair, and this cronish face. It emerges from the mud, covered in it, dragging behind it a body. It appears from about over yonder. What do you do?
is there like an? You said it's the house is built on top of an old tree. Is there like an overhang, like or like a under porch? Can I dive under the house?
There is a little bit of space between the roots, yes.
I
It's
want
not
to
so much
stay
under the house, like all the way beneath it, but there's space between the roots for you to hide.
Yeah, I want to like dive in between the roots. Say essentially hide by the house if possible.
So, seeing that, I will dart to the side so that the house blocks line of sight to her, and I will signal to people over there that problem.
Is that a stealth check or?
You already
Yeah, 'cause
rolled my stealth check. That's what I'm using.
Oh, okay.
You're still under the effects of Pass Without a Trace. Then you go on that 4 minutes of passive for sake of a spell.
Okay.
I don't know how long it lasts.
An hour.
Okay, well, count in your head. 4 minutes have passed. In fact, I'll have a timer going for. I've been having a timer running this entire time, by the way. I now have 3 times going. So this figure, hunched, drags the body behind it. You can see from your hiding spaces, and those of you watching from distance, this haggish form drags what looks to be a dead goat behind it. And she begins to maneuver past the log, stepping over it, and toward the hut. This close. Your 2 party mates over there are hiding beneath the roots, or trying to. As Keahi and Jeb are doing their own thing, what do the rest of you guys do?
Well, if they signal to us that there's something there, because obviously we can't see it.
You would have seen Kiahi kind of symbol say. You would have seen both from look and to some extent hand signs of danger, and unfortunately, I have not actually set up a full communications system.
When Kiahi reacts with his hands, I use silent image, and I do like the bushes a little more taller than they are, so we can hide easily.
Yeah, I'll actually use a minor illusion to help with it too.
Sure. The 2 of you roll me a stealth normal roll, helping each other, and I'll up your stealth if it's higher than what you already rolled. I like that. What about you, Brender? What are you doing?
I'll just be basically I'm seeing Kiai and Jeb are trying to hide. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Jeb is cowering beneath the roots of the house.
Yeah, so right now Brandar would probably just stick behind the makeshift tree thing that they're making, bushes, just to try and stay. You want me to roll stealth?
No, you rolled stealth. I'm just kind of proving their shitty rolls. You rolled fine. You passed it. As far as you know, the eerie feeling is still there, and the eerie presence before you is dreadful. You're pretty confident you'll remain hidden for now.
Unfortunately, they're not under the effects of Pass Without Trace currently. They have to be within 30 feet of me.
I see.
That's fine.
So Brender, yes, reroll please. As you rolled 13. Okay. The crone drops the body dragging behind and just kind of sniffs around, looks, and proceeds to walk toward in this direction, away from the entrance, leaving the goat corpse behind. She's looking around. What is your giant ass mount doing, Aya?
She's inside the bush. It's a massive bush, okay?
I like to think she's
Not
just
massive
clipping
enough.
through.
It must have to cover you and perhaps another creature. She's humongous. It's like trying to hide a horse in a like waist-high bush.
Mm.
So as the crone proceeds to walk around the house, ever so closer, you begin to see a shadow around the corner. What do you do with your mount?
Okay, so my mount is clearly not invisible. Hidden. Okay. She's gonna run to this side and she's gonna bite the water.
Okay, so
Because
Aya's mount leaps out of the bushes and begins sprinting in this direction, biting into water. And the crone sharply turns and points a finger at it and begins casting a spell, kind of trying to snipe it as it runs. It's gonna be to hit. You see a greenish light begin to charge at the edge of her taloned finger, and then she sends a bolt flying toward your mount. As your mount has to make a dexterity saving throw. As with a crackling zap, it just zigzags across the water. I mean, Alina receives 30 points of lightning damage. And just gets disintegrated out of there. And you just hear the hag just cackle to herself. Just kind of limp back toward the goat, pick it up by the scruff, and just continue dragging it toward the door.
Sorry, Tom?
Yeah.
I have a question. She's immune to lighting, but...
What does Alina do upon receiving damage?
Alina will outlast us all.
This immunity is
yeah, what does Alina do as she gets hit by lightning?
When she gets hit by lightning, she takes it and she starts like sparkling for a second, and she just look at her and keep eating the water.
Okay, so instead of doing, she turns around, sees that the creature just zapped, that isn't great, and at this point you see a suspicion kind of go across her face, and she drops the goat. And angry just says, you get out of my swamp. Not out of my swamp. And she rounds the corner and focused on Lena. She's within you guys' view. And she's gonna try to start approaching Elena about this over yonder distance.
And she start running for when we can
What
to
direction?
the west, to the left. That's west, right? Yeah.
Sure. Westward she runs. You see her lift her arm one more time and whisper a spell under her breath, muttering with those cracked elderly lips of hers. And she's gonna go ahead and try again to just squash the life out of this creature as several magic bolts shoot out, one from each finger. She and toward Elena. So, and just homing toward her. It's gonna be 3. Oh, it does do the damage for 3.
Yeah, it rolls all 3.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. So she's gonna send 1 toward Elena as she continues running, and cast another spell, twinning it, as sending another series of magic bolts for a total of 20 until she's gonna keep doing this till Elena perishes, essentially.
Okay, she did. She collapsed to the ground and began to disintegrate, I guess. Well, she's disintegrating. Like the banshee appears, also laying on the ground, trying to crawl away.
Spell does what it does,
she
buddy.
Disappears. Yeah.
All right. After a while, Baba Lizaga looks around. What you guys look for stuff over there? And she looks toward the direction where Brandor and Ea is from where she was standing here. And takes note of you. Says,
"Come out, lest you end up like your pet. You skulk about my home. What you're here for?"
Well, I came out of my imaginary bush. And we're looking for a stone. Was stolen from the winery some time ago.
Huh? You think it's yours to claim, then?
So you have it.
Well, it surely
I
isn't
didn't
yours
say
as I
that.
appear.
Not too bright, are you? How many stones where he come from? Had to come to my swamp for it.
So, well, she's now well away, and I have a full house in between us. I'd like to try and feed Muriel that good berry.
well, I'll cut back to you when I finish what I was in the middle of, yes.
Yep. Okay.
What was the last thing that you said, though, Tom?
She seems to taunt you.
Don't have many stones where he come from. Had to come for one from my swamp. Warnings were not enough for you.
This is a special stone. You know, the Martikov.
Spits on the ground. Bloody ravens, all of them. Bane of my existence. Yeah, I'm very much familiar with the Martikovs.
They would like to have it back.
Many people would like many things. I would like to be left alone in my swamp unbothered. But seems like both of us are disappointed today, isn't it? They ain't getting back. Stone's mine. You're gonna die for it.
Well, it doesn't seem like the stone is being put to much use. I mean,
Doesn't seem. What do you know about seeming? Can't even read the signs to get out of my swamp. Let me tell you all my secrets now, shall I? All my inner workings and all my plans with this stone. It's mine.
May not be helpful.
I'm keeping it.
Well, we began talking about the stone. Does she see to any particular place or hold anything in her pocket? Something like that?
Clawed hands are exposed, still sizzling with a spell she just cast, and her eyes are focused on the lot of you. She seems to be inspecting your weapons, your gear, kind of taking in what she can take away from you once she kills you.
Okay.
If she kills you.
well, everybody wants something. Well, we would like the stone, but there's more to than just the swamp that you would want. If you haven't noticed, because you haven't been able to look outside your swamp, it seems, things are changing in this land. Every day, Lord Strahd has been coming just a tiny bit weaker. But perhaps you have your spies out there, your little birds, telling you this already. Surely you know change is already coming, and you know that we're a part of this. But
What kind of change, Bertel? What business have you with the Dark Lord of the land? With my son, dearest? Do tell.
everything's tied together. There's always a bigger plan. That stone, yes, does belong back to the Martikovs, but now, you know, everything needs to... What am I trying to say? It's all a part of the bigger plan, I guess.
Oh, so esoteric, so beautiful. Clear the wax out of your ears, my good lady. And listen, you said you had plans. Things are gonna change for Strahd. Your type of change. What kind is it? What plans have you got for my dear boy?
I will say retirement.
Ah, all right. Death it is. You wish to kill my son? I will kill you. You had a small glimmer of chance of getting out of my swamp alive. I thought warnings would do. But dim-witted as you are, it seems that I'll do my Dark Lord a favor and get rid of you. How's that sound?
He will be disappointed. He's expecting us for dinner this week.
I'm sure he's also expecting the dagger in his back.
We don't go there with daggers or marching with violence. We simply just want to hear him
I just
out.
told him that you're gonna retire, Strahd.
Retirement can be a very broad term.
Yeah.
Death was never used. The
Her
word death
patience
or
is
kill
like
was never
paper
used.
thin at this point. You see her sickly green flesh like turn like a slight reddish color. She looks toward the ground from the muck. She reaches with her oversized arms and grabs what's looked to be an even more oversized pestle from the muck and just cleans it off. The pestle seems to be made from either a very bright ebony wood or bone, you're not sure. It's engraved in these vile symbols all around.
Well, which of you is the most tender?
You actually expect us to answer that like we would actually know.
I expected a lot of things today, not 3 dim-witted morsels to openly confess to oppose the one true power of the land, my son, dearest.
As this is all going on,
You say...
yeah.
Go ahead.
You
No,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say... you call him your son, but if he was truly your son, then why wouldn't he be coming here to free you from this grim, dank,
Shows how
stinky
much
swamp?
you know. Be kind toward how you call my home. I made it beautiful for me and precious.
Who is Precious?
You would like to be introduced? I'll put you in Precious's bowl and give you a face-to-face introduction.
Seems to be some sort of pet of hers with many faces.
Okay.
I am the mother of Strahd. Anyone who's willing to dispute this fact can rot. So don't come to my home with your silly questions and ill will. Come on, I'll let you have the first swing.
As
Go on,
this is
Jeb.
happening, go ahead and think about your responses. Maybe now that you're a little bit more of a situation as I go over to Keahi and Jeb. What's going on in this neck of the woods? You're shoving the goodberry into her throat?
Yes. Which is 1 point of healing and nourishment for a day. I'm trying to wake her up quietly. Unfortunately, I need her to be conscious.
She stirs slightly, but does not wake. Still seems feverish.
I tell Kiahi to tell everyone to get ready, because I might have a plan to at least cause a momentary distraction for everyone to have an opening against the woman.
I need Ariel to be awake to get her out of this cage. But
And I can just say the best thing we can do might just be to keep the fighting away from her.
okay. Well, at least that'll give. Is what I did will keep her awake for a little bit, and I'm gonna actually float up and kind of sit. 'Cause I'm assuming it's a sloping roof, so I'm gonna kind of hang out,
Yep.
hiding on the other side of the sloping roof.
I
Looking
also,
down.
before you fly up there, I ask, that spell of yours, can you make a quick, small fog at my feet, when I say so?
No, not really.
Never mind. Disguise self as Strahd.
One moment.
She has true sight. This is all a stupid idea. But she said she's mom. So
You don't know anything. Here you
I
go.
don't know anything. I'm just going by plain assumptions. I I quietly clear my throat, get into the Strahd Strahd frame of mind. I've heard his voice several times, right? I've spoken with him. I've seen him in person.
Yep.
So Master of Intrigue means I can mimic the speech patterns and accent of a creature, and I'm hoping disguise self. I can change my voice just so. I'm doing the best Strahd impression I can do, essentially.
You
I
sure are telling me. Go ahead and demonstrate.
Yep.
What'd you do?
I come around the corner and just in the same booming voice that I heard Strahd address Valaki, I just say, "Ah, foolish cockroaches! You dare insult my..." And then he would just put emphasis on the word mother in an almost mocking tone, and seek to steal from her in her home. Impudence.
Son, dearest, it has been some time. Forgive me, Lord. I did not quite clean up my swamp from this muck. I'm not ready with your request, my lord. But
as he's stepping closer towards her, and he's kind of just like, he lifts his foot up, looking at his dirty boots. You always did have a particular fondness for nature.
Not as great a fondness for nature as my fondness is for you, my dear boy.
He's just
Come, embrace a mother's love.
And he's just coming. These insects. I hope they have not bothered you.
No, there'll be no more, my lord. No more. She glances toward the rest of them. Your enemies are my enemies. Our enemies together. Yes, I will destroy them in time. Yes.
To call them enemies would be to give them far too much. They are insects. I've played with them, and I've enjoyed seeing them struggle against the land.
My boy, you play dangerous games. Some toys, they bite back. And these ones seek to end your existence. I've told you once and told you before, your gift is not eternal. We must do what we must do, lest your pride will be the end of you, my dear boy.
Mother, there have been dangerous
Every time you call her mother, she has like the biggest eyes. She's like on the verge of tears.
Yep, there have been dangerous. There have been dangerous toys in the past, but these are insects. Please, that one dares to walk in my land with the curse. That one dares to call herself of my kind. That one dresses itself in the skin of metal. And that one harnesses the holy light. I shall have fun tearing their spine out from their body. But first, Mother, and he just steps forward. I must ask for your. I must observe decorum. Please kneel down. Please kiss my ring, and then we shall destroy these cockroaches as the insects they are.
Rule deception.
Oh boy. Haven't rolled good in like 2 sessions.
Alright.
Natural 20.
You.
Oh, so close.
Not the worst.
See?
Damn
Oh,
it.
Oh.
Wow.
You kiss the ring. Oh, what?
I stab her.
You. Roll for initiative.
As soon as it looks like she's like, what? Wait a
There's
second. I stab her.
like a mother's love is something to behold even in a hag, but as you continue talking in this
Oh boy.
mannerism that you've never witnessed in Strahd yourself, and you're like, oh, I'm improvising myself into areas I don't know, and you deliver that line like "kiss the ring." You see her eyes squint over, and then her fingers begin to like trail a spell in the air, and that's when you get your blade out. Guys, it is now 9 o'clock. Do we want to keep going with combat, or do we want to call it here?
I
can
can
guide next
go.
session.
I can
I'd
keep going.
rather wait if it's gonna be a big combat. If it's kind of like a boss thing, because it's gonna.
It's
be
not
a
gonna
while.
be small. I don't know how big it's gonna get. It's not gonna be tiny ass. We have
Yeah, I'd rather
Strahd
wait.
killing his own mother again. Like, so I'm just thinking here, it's a good spot to be like, and that's where we're gonna leave off, and continue next session. Interesting.
I try to draw my weapon and it gets caught in the frog, and then she realized something's up. Strahd would never hesitate, like,
It always
fuck that up.
it always fascinates me, the little butterfly effect of, because party is composed of many individuals, and many individuals react to different things. The Elena running south into her vision instead of hiding more led to her detecting the rest of the party, which led to Strahd showing up, and I'm just like, it's interesting, like, the butterfly effect of like, there's not gonna be an investigation. I'm sitting here like, it's gonna go straight to combat, I think. All right.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
we're gonna call it here, just because otherwise we're gonna be losing people.
Yeah.
Does Jeb get a free attack though if it's a surprise or no?
I don't think she's
It's
surprised.
definitely not a surprise.
Okay.
I think he would have had she not succeeded that wisdom check.
It's not an ambush. It's not a surprise. You can
Right.
you can out initiative her possibly,
Unlikely.
but unlikely. And I'm gonna we'll see how it goes next session if this is the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what did she roll on initiative? I'm just curious where. I assume it's more than me. It's unlikely she goes after me.
She haven't rolled, I think.
I was just curious.
I haven't rolled on purpose because I want this to be a cliffhanger.
Come on. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Me and Brandar have the same.
It's the how it's Jeb Munglo and then Strahd's picture in there. But yeah, I can roll initiative if you really want me to.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
I was,
okay.
I was joking.
I'm just keeping
I rolled a fucking natural 1, and it's unlikely that I'm not going last.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Baba Yaga is many things, and she isn't many things. But one thing that she is wise. Wisdom checks are my bread and butter in this.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
spell work.
Both
Yeah.
Nadia and
Yeah.
Frank got natural 20s.
Nice. So you can place stuff
But-
anywhere on the board, really.
But my plan was to distract her, and regardless, it seems like she's talking to her son.
Up until the last second, yeah.
I
So-
thought that you were gonna ask her about the stone at one point.
No, because
It's at
Strahd
the
would
moment
know that.
where it stopped being Strahd and it got back to being Jeb that was like, roll deception. Kiss the ring.
It was
Did
essentially.
Strahd
as
ever
soon
make
as it-
you kiss the ring? Like,
Kneel,
Yeah.
poor.
kneel before me, mother. Like, what?
Well, I said decorum, and the the reason why I said that, I'm not sure if this changes anything. I assume no, but I was doing. I clicked the thing. High society, like proper, like waspy royal shit. Like while I am her son, quote unquote. I don't know if actually, but whatever.
I understand completely, and I really, really like what you're doing. I'm just telling you.
No, I totally get it. I totally
ain't
understand.
That's not Strahd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah.
I thought
No,
I thought you were going for
If you were
strong
ruled higher, like,
advantage.
then yeah.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. Like I was just trying to let you know like what my thought process was. It was like
Yeah. It was wonderful.
Also, can I ask you guys this? Because I just role play NPCs. I don't like being a douchebag, but this is Baba Lazaga. Coming up to a hag and being like, hey, you know that stone you took from Markov's? Give back? What did you expect?
No, I get it.
Aside from a fuck off.
Thing for her.
I don't know.
to
I'm
give
not
to us.
good at doing any of that.
I guess you guys expected to stay hidden.
Yeah.
Touche. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
So-
I mean, I was expecting like
Did
to
you
see
roll
if
natural
she
one
has it
twice?
on herself or something like that.
You were doing mention the thing that someone's trying to keep safe, and they'll glance at it to check that it's still where they think it is.
The Davy
Yeah,
Jones
And you get a
gambit.
clue.
Oh my! I should have done that. Like pick the stone on my Misty Step, something like that. Minor illusion. But yeah, something like that. To
Hey.
try to find where it is hidden.
Mac, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I'm gonna do this before we go, because I want to end it on a high note.
Okay.
I don't know why you didn't go.
So literally everyone goes, and then Jeb goes.
She got
Nice.
So
Okay,
Wow.
14.
two natural
That's
20.
too
Who
much,
who was
boys.
natural 20? Brandar
Yeah,
and
Brandar.
Nadia. So where do you guys want to place yourself on this initiative roll? Because you can place yourself wherever you want. Top of the round or wherever.
I'm gonna go right before Baba Lazaga.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
I'll stick to the top.
I will say that you should. I'm assuming that you've got something for the ravens and the guy here, because my turn will involve freeing them.
You assume, yes. I'm not gonna tell you my side of the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Brand, are you staying on top then?
Yeah, I'm staying on top.
Okay, so Brander, what do you do in the split second? You see the silver of Jeb's metal about to pierce into this hag, and she's about to cast like some sort of identifying spell, perhaps, in the confusion. What do you do as you see the soul develop?
Yeah, he basically, the moment he would have seen Jeb get, like the moment Jeb like even goes to like pull something, he knows what Jeb's going to do. He would have just basically took out his pistol and fired right at her back, because her back's right side, I guess.
So go ahead and roll for that, because I need you to act before I do something to end the session.
Okay.
Because as soon as combat happens, and it is happening,
Player action.
losing initiative ties on 20.
Do you want me to just do one
Yeah,
shot? or-
whatever it is you're doing on your turn.
Yeah, well, it would have been both shots. Yeah.
Okay. As two shots ring out, you see her flinch with impacts as she grabs Jeb's wrists with the blade out, and you can see it start moving toward her. And with her other hand, like she raises it, claws with and snaps, and the snap resounds like 300 feet all throughout, and you begin to see the roots of the tree awaken and get out of places as the whole hut rises.
Hi.
With
I'm
Keahi on
sitting
top of it.
of it. Yeah.
Now we had session.
I am sitting right on that peak, right behind that peak. The higher of two peaks.
Right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep the house as a token because I can move the house around. I'll just keep this for health and initiative tracking. It's gonna roll initiative on 20, and that's where we're gonna end the session with you guys realizing right after Baba Yaga.
There's a house.
Beautiful.
Which one of those shots actually hit her? Any?
What?
Like the shots fired at her, did any actually hit her?
They did both. They both hit.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of just I had to flinch with both hit. You're not sure about the damage. It's not quite evident as the bullets kind of pierce her clothes and her flesh, but they both hit.
Okay.
And we'll just pick up from here next session.
So as Jeb tries to pull out his rapier, he rolls a nat 1 because the little vine belt that Kiahi gave him snaps and his pants around his ankles now.
Right. Alrighty then. I just want to end session there.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a higher point. That was nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, he's just sitting or standing on top of a house. It's like, oh, you're
not gonna
moving.
love it for long.
Oh,
You're not gonna love it for long. It's gonna suck in a bit.
I'm sure it is. But I'm on the roof. It can't reach me. It has its legs can't reach me on the roof.
It'll have vines or some shit that's going to come up and smack you.
Mhm.
The kind of crocodile tail whip something in its mouth argument that I tried to do last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you like go through the roof and it starts attacking itself? Then it's like you're inside of it, like, and it just starts bashing itself. Maybe it'll just like do that.
But it might accidentally kill Muriel.
Alright, Muriel is attached to the house.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
still.
She's in the cage and she's unconscious and thus not counted as a willing target, which is very annoying.
You can't Cosby teleport her?
Nope, because it's the spirit in each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet, and unconscious creatures cannot be willing.
I was gonna use the the locket to disappear the cage, or at least some of the bars. But yeah,
How long does it take you to do
You
that?
can't do that. How would that work?
it says like any object on my possession. So
What? Out of
Let me look
existence?
for
No,
it.
it's hooked to a chain to the house. How are you gonna do that? Let alone under a spell.
yeah, well, yeah. You're right. Like if it's part of the house, I don't see how.
You
it
can't just make
Yeah.
any object in the world just like vanish and leave a crater behind it. You take
Yeah,
objects
you
that
have to
you
pick
carry
it
on
up.
you. You have to carry the cage on you.
Yeah, if it wasn't attached, right? If we were able to break if we were able to break the connection to it, yeah, that would work. Or if we were able to break the chain to the house, you could absolutely do that. Except that, actually, how would that work with Muriel inside?
Yeah, I don't know.
Would it-
That part I don't know.
I don't know. I would
You
just-
can't carry Muriel into your coin, so
You
Yeah,
can probably
Yeah.
carry the cage. But if you carried the
And
cage with
leave
Muriel inside, would you just teleport the cage and Muriel would fall?
I would assume that's probably how I would set it up, because otherwise,
is the cage carried on her person? Is it an
Uh,
object that she carries?
I'm assuming that you've cut the chain, so it's no longer attached to the house, and she's holding it. And
We're assuming a lot. Hold on, let me just open if we're really discussing all this shit. I as a DM say no, and I know the reason why. I just want the warlock of
Yeah.
the party, and yes, still a warlock, to know how Genie's vessel work. Bottle of Respite. As an action, you can magically vanish and enter your vessel, which remains in the space you left. The interior of the vessel is yada yada high and tall and yada. The interior is appointed with cushions, while inside you can hear the area around your vessel as if you were in the space. You can remain inside your vessel up to a number of hours equal to twice your proficiency bonus, which is 6 hours. You exit the vessel early if you use a bonus action to leave, if you die, or if the vessel is destroyed. When you exit the vessel, you appear in unoccupied space next to it. Any object left in the vessel remains there until carried out, and if the vessel is destroyed, every object stored there harmlessly appears in unoccupied space closest. Once you enter the vessel, you can't enter again until you finish a long rest. In all of that, where's the rule that I can carry objects inside?
I agree. It's not there.
Yeah. Then I
I-
suppose I think I've been basing it on the fact that it has brought other things into.
Yeah,
Like the
I've
forest and the
allowed that
sides.
so far because every time that every time that Aya enters the vessel, she's not naked and she's not unarmed. Everything she's wearing is still with her.
Right.
So I allowed
Okay.
objects carried on you to be carried into the vessel because of those obvious reasons. That got fucking stretched to bring in whole corpses, and I was like, fine, a corpse is an object. I'm not gonna say no, even though that's
Yeah.
stretching it to the weird. That's fine. But at a certain point, when you start like, I touched the door and then I vanished to my vessel, you vanish, but the door's not gonna vanish with you. It's not.
Okay,
There's a
that's
spell for
fair.
that. It's level 7. Good luck. You know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the ability actually was. I think I read it once.
Jeez,
Likewise, I've read it once or twice.
jeez, respite.
That's a good ruling. I just wasn't familiar with it. I actually assumed it was like whatever the person was touching.
Because
or
otherwise, a
carrying.
warlock gains disintegrate at level 3.
Yeah.
It's like it's like using mending as a welding thing.
You could.
Well, you can't like use
it's
mending to mend two two different things
They have to
together.
be the same object. If you shatter a
Yeah.
chain, a chain, you can meld it back together as if you welded it.
Yeah, but you can't like say I mend this
Two
piece of
unrelated
wood
objects.
to
I
this
agreed.
door,
You
yeah.
you said welding. And I said yes. You can weld objects together if they were the same objects.
Yeah. If like to repair it, you can repair it, but you can't like.
I can even argue if it's like a clay jar and another clay jar, you can mend them back together if they fit.
Yeah, I
and you
can
have-
see that.
It's kind of like a ship. You know, what's that? Theseus ship? Is it his original
ship
ship
of
if it's made
Theseus.
from other materials? It's a ship. You're mending a ship. Also, it's magic. So, not,
Magic.
Yeah.
not over question magic.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to see where this goes.
Interesting
It's
session.
gonna be fun.
I feel like I was almost there at just. You never made your mom kiss your ring before? Come on.
No.
It's a Strahd thing to do.
I love that Strahd has his own opinion about Baba Zaga that you don't know and you can act
Oh, of
upon.
course,
I
no.
already was stretching this rubber as
Mother.
far as it
No, of
went
course, of course.
without, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see where this goes. But as soon as you were like going back to like Jeb-like behavior, I was like, I'm rolling wisdom. Like,
No, I was surprised you didn't roll it sooner.
because I'm giving you a chance to act upon what your character is best at, of course.
He didn't know. He was going by like the 30 seconds of dialogue he got.
It would have been more if, whatever, would have been, could have, would have, should have.
Yeah.
Again, it's like the butterfly effect of like, whatever. It is what it is. This is a campaign. It's gonna be hilarious. All good. So, any questions about what happened so far? Anything I can answer before I go?
Just figure out how my
Is
backup's
everybody's
gonna
taking notes and
be
stuff?
in next session.
Sorry,
Is
what?
the house friendly?
Super.
Super friendly.
friendly.
I
Gives
have a
you-
new mount.
Very heavy-handed pets.
Yep, I have a new mount.
Mhm.
A new mount. It's
I-
a tree. It fit in.
Yeah, I suppose. How high up am I if I'm sitting on top of the house?
Like
Is that
25,
like
25
10
feet in the
feet
air?
or 25 feet? Okay.
10 feet. 25 feet in the air?
Yeah, because it is up on a giant stump, isn't it? So yeah, 25.
It's
probably.
up on its legs and it's moving about, and it's gargantuan, and you're on top of it. On a slanted
Yeah,
roof.
so yeah, I'm fairly high up. This is fine. This is fine.
I mean, maybe she's or I'm just seeing a bunch of sentient kindling.
I mean,
Oh, here's the part I didn't get. That's what, as a DM, I don't know if I should say this because we're still in an encounter, right? So let me filter through this. I think it was Nadia who was going with like the. You say he's your son, but he trapped you in this like muck and shit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's her home. You're talking to Shrek. Like,
yeah.
Shrek.
like,
Yeah.
so
everyone has
here's
different
without being
values.
too highbrow mocking. What did I not make that obvious?
What are you doing in my swamp?
I
No,
did
but
wanna
like, did
say
I not
anything.
make the obvious that she has a house here in the middle of the marsh, and like,
I also heard you doing a Shrek-ish voice when you were doing her voice.
I'm
I
I'm
heard
just
a little bit of
doing.
Shrek in there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Just a big
little
old
bit.
It makes
Scottish.
sense. Yeah.
Donkey.
I heard like 5%. I was gonna ask, is there like a demonic donkey somewhere around?
Maybe
Well, we don't know
maybe
who-
that's Precious.
Yeah, we don't know who Precious is yet.
I just
Four-headed
look at her
donkey.
face and I don't imagine like a
Hey, I'm a hag. Come into my home, yes, and I can browse around.
she looks so done with the world. So she's just like, you know, this very low like
Yeah.
more heroes.
So you're saying there are layers to this boss fight?
Oh no,
Huh.
dude, I have like 6 sheets of things, but like if you're gonna come up to her and be like, she's gonna be like, hey, you're gonna approach me, mother of Strahd, and you're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna kill him. She's gonna be like, death it is then. Like,
It was that moment. That's why I became Strahd in that moment. Like, oh, we gotta de-escalate right now.
yeah, a little
I
bit.
ended up just fucking it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this high intelligence, low wisdom. It makes sense. I wouldn't have changed anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Be more like Baba Lysaga, high intelligence, high wisdom, high everything, just high.
Nah.
High religion for some reason.
It's a bloody kite.
Plus 13 to religion. Can we discuss that? Yeah.
I would guess if she's acting as, or if she believes herself to be the mother of the Lord of the Land, who has effectively made himself the
Right.
land, is she not the priestess of the religion that is Strahd?
You would think.
Or at least
I'm not gonna give you
self-proclaimed
answers.
priestess of self-proclaimed priestess of the religion that is Strahd.
She could be like one of the seekers before. I mean, not the seeker, follower of the seeker or
Either.
something like that before. Yeah, or maybe the seeker. Yeah, you're right.
I doubt Seeker because we've met the Seeker. I think, or the Seeker was Yesterhill, folks. Here we
Waver. Sorry. Yeah.
She could be
I
responsible
heard
for what made
either.
him change, or like integral to helping him become Strahd.
Jeb, think about your second character and how he's gonna enter at the beginning of next session.
Yeah,
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just reading her spell list and I realize your proximity
No,
to her,
I'm-
so I'm just like, yeah.
I was hoping to get one good sneak attack off to like at least whittle it down.
For sure, man. For sure. Just understand my perspective. When I see Finger of Death on a
Oh
spell
yeah,
list,
no.
I'm gonna use
Wait.
it.
Finger of Death. What's the minimum on that?
Finger
But,
of Death.
Like 38?
That's
If I roll all once?
Wait. So
37 if you roll all ones.
38?
It's 78. So 37
38?
is minimum.
Don't argue
right?
with me. I know my stat block.
No. So it's
Ah.
30. It's 37 minimum, right?
37 for you. Yes, correct.
So that means I'm dead because I have 39 HP, and it is unlikely for you to roll all ones.
Yes. Yes.
Come on.
Nice.
Should everyone
That's-
bring a new character?
I'm not even looking at the damage. I don't care about the damage. I'm looking at everything else.
Well, no, I just meant from that one spell alone. Like when I heard Finger of Death, yeah, Jeb's dead.
Yeah.
With his he has a 0. I don't know what her DC is, but he has a 0 con mod, and he's not proficient. So he has best case scenario a 25% chance of making this save, probably less.
UK Mac, you've been awful quiet.
No, all good. Just listening.
Okay, well, I mean, like, I know you're just listening, but like, you know, when I asked the party, like, what's your biggest regret? You were like, I regretted I let the party do the thing in Velaki without having more input. I just kind of follow what the party did. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I see it happening again, so I'm just making sure that everything's okay.
Oh no, all good. All that kind of happened like very quickly, and yeah.
Also,
obviously,
also beelining to the final boss without exploring the rest of its lair is kind of like, yikes. But I guess party does what the party does. What?
We were operating under the impression that Muriel is dead if we don't.
Cool. Yeah,
And
no,
we wanna
that's
keep Muriel
that's what your
alive.
characters would do. I understand.
And she might.
Yeah.
And
I'm
she
not
looked
saying
like in
you did
bad
anything
shape.
bad.
She might
You
have
did
been-
everything the way
Yeah.
you do. That's fine. I'm just saying that ex facto, you beelined it to the final boss. So I'm like,
Yeah.
She might have been eaten alive by the bugs anyway, so we needed to do this. Everyone's pretty full up though, right? They didn't spend too many resources with the alligator,
yeah.
crocodile, whatever.
Well, it all just really depends on how hard she hits.
Yeah,
Like a
Finger of
fucking
Death.
truck.
It's like I need 3 new characters just
Uh-huh.
for this fight.
how hard she hits, how hard the 25 by
House
25
hits?
by 25 house hits. A whole bunch.
Yep.
I just didn't want to run it this session us being this late because I was like, I'll kill somebody by mistake. Not like that I'm trying to avoid killing anybody. I'll just like, this is such a powerful fight that I need to pay attention because I might misroll something and kill somebody.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fit, I'm gonna take on level 8 or level 9.
Survive Baba Zaga.
No, I was going for Mage Slayer.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Not resilient con. To avoid poison and Finger of Death.
No, it's fine. Just antitoxins. A lot of antitoxins.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the simple solution is that I need to take the herbalist feat next level. That'll solve a lot of your poison problem.
Well, I have, Lay of Hands and one spell that heals it and gives resistance. So I was like, maybe I don't have to go all the way with it.
I'll just stop the recording here.